Okay, carry the 3, get everything set up, no big deal. Let's scroll down once, we got that in place. The timer ticks down, everything's getting ready to go. It's time for us to enter the Pro Pokeball Season 5 Playoffs! Hello everyone and welcome to the Pro Pokeball Season 5 Playoffs! My name is ProPokeBowl, but I'll be commentating over this wonderful, wonderful event. We have made it to the end of 10 whole weeks of battles. And now it's time to watch our top 6 in the tournament go on and try to become the Season 5 champion. Thank you everyone for your patience tonight. A lot of things had to be reset and things were broken and all this other stuff. I don't freaking know. But nonetheless, we got it working. Everything's ready to go. We're going to get right into it. Let's take a look at our top 6 to see who is going to be challenging for that championship cup. We are going to be starting off today with I Am Groot versus Golden State Greninjas, followed by Lunar Cresselias versus Manchester Manectric. If you wanted to keep up and try and hear about everything, the Pro Poke Podcast just got put out about, 45 minutes or an hour ago. It took forever for it to render. I don't know why it does that, but basically to clarify everything, it took forever to edit, took forever for us to record it as well. It's just the way time's working. This has been an absolute mess for time the past couple of months, and that is partially my fault, partially life just wanted to be stupid. But thank you everybody for your support throughout the entire Pro Pokeball and all the events we've been doing on the channel thus far. Let me get you your bets, because every match can be bet on tonight, and all you have to do is guess who's winning. You don't even have to guess the results. You just gotta guess who is going on. Let me get everything going here for you. Now, to remind all of you about the format for playoffs, it is a best of 5. Nobody goes home with points. It is a single elimination round. If you are kicked out, you are gone for good. And each series looks more and more interesting. Actually, less and less interesting, technically, because the more that we look at it, the more we have to be reminded of all the times when we saw those 2-0s and 0-2s and all those very one-sided matches. There aren't going to be all in here in the top 6, so that's kind of bizarre to me. But nonetheless, there we go. Get that going for you guys here. Actually put Golden State Greninjas in the vote. There we go. Your vote's up there. You got 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be getting into the first analysis of the day really quickly because we need to. It is going to be Golden State Greninjas versus I Am Groot. World leader, his first time in 4 seasons making it to the Pro Pokeball Playoffs versus I Am Groot, who is looking to make it his 2nd win in Pro Pokeball history. This one is a doozy. There is a phone call coming in. You know, I'm not even... Keep going. Yeah. Say the number. Do it. I dare you. Did you guys get that? Okay, there we go. Last time we saw these two match up, it was a quick 2-0 for Sweet D, but there have been some changes that have happened over the times. First of all, I Am Groot's going to be going without their Suicune, whereas Golden State Greninjas are going to be going this entire best of 5 without their Pelipper. So the way they had to build it, they build their 11 as normal, except it's the best of 5. The bands go through all 5 games if we do get to that point. But here's the fun part. Here's the amazing part. We saw a trade in playoffs for both of these coaches. Swellow is now on the side over Rybombi for the team of I Am Groot. I think it's going to be a lot more useful. Rybombi didn't really get much done for him. Didn't feel like he needed much of the sticky web support, or if he did, outside of that, dropping Quiver Dances, Moonblast, he got a lot more done with the Superior and his Terrakion. He had the Lycanroc in the back, which is still pretty fast and still usable. But now I think with the likes of the Steelix and the Entei, Swellow is another offensive point that he can play off of, both offensive on the physical and the special side if he wants it to be, and I think it'll depend on what he builds for today, if he brings it, and if not, what he's going to be bringing into the semis and finals collectively. On the side of Golden State Greninjas, though, we saw the trade with the Fortnite Ninjas in Week 10, which we slightly talked about because you saw the Venusaur over on that side with Mitchie. What does that mean? World leader enters the tournament with Tapu Bulu will be on his team, which I found kind of interesting because I thought Tapu Bulu would be really good against Suicune, and yet Suicune is banned. So I kind of was surprised to try. Like, I mean, here's the thing, right? against this team, Suicune did give him a lot of problems because with the Combines going on, the Venusaur didn't do much. But now you have Tapu Bulu attacking on the physical side, so he had something to manage it. But if he just finds it to be too obnoxious, this could be a pickup when he goes up against, if he goes up against Fortnite Ninjas. Otherwise, even then he got traded. I don't know. Either I thought Venusaur beat Bulu anyways. Nonetheless, he's got the Bulu. I'm curious to see what it's going to be doing against the likes of I Am Groot, because he has the superpower if he's going to go against the Steelix. We're not fighting the Hippowdon. We're not fighting the Suicune because it's banned. But now Steelix, with Steelix and Entei and everything on the side of Sweet D, he's built himself a much more stable offensive and defensive core with this. Now he's got the Steelix, which is gonna do everything that Hippowdon did minus weather, but better, also has sturdy. And with the Entei, he's got the priority, but he also just has really powerful fire stab. And looking at the side of Golden State Greninjas, most times they had to be able to take the hits and deliver them back. So if Entei is just punching things in really hard and getting burns left and right, the survivability of Golden State Greninja's team is going to go down significantly, and that's going to be in favor of I Am Groot. Gamma and I both predicted an I Am Groot victory tonight, but it's going to be up to you guys to see who it's going to be. They're going to have to get on to the battles and show us what they have prepared. I'm really excited for Golden State Greninjas, though. World Leader finally gets to display his own brand of battling in the playoffs, and the best part is this format favors his type of playstyle because he builds very specific, like incredibly specifically, to try and use moves or EV spreads or items to specifically target his opponents. The semis and finals, kind of slippery for him in that sense, but against Sweet D, he's got the VODs that he's gone back to. He's seen the Pokepace that were brought against him. His team and I Am Groot's team are both different this time around. So it's going to be kind of curious to see what he's going to plan for when it comes to the Steelix, the Entei, and the Swellow. I think we're going to see something along the lines of potentially a Scarfed Infernape. Maybe, I hope we don't see Golisopod, but hopefully we see the Electros or something of the lines of the Tapu Bulu. Just something to have to come in here, because I'm pretty sure that Empoleon, Drampa, Gliscor, all of these Pokemon are going to be trying to go in. Believe it or not, Gliscor would be really good against Entei because the Earthquake Stab on top of that doesn't have to be very afraid, because with a defensive build, it takes the Sacred Fires, and as long as it had the Toxic Boost going, or the Poison Heal going, it doesn't have to worry about getting burned. And I don't think there's going to be anything on the side of I Am Groot to have to cleanse that status, so I'm curious to see what's going to be happening. I think it's going to be a really exciting series. It might seem a little one-sided on paper and in play, but that's not up to me. That's up to the players as they are into the battle. Let's get into it. Playoffs, Season 5. It's time. Let's jump into it. You guys posted it in... yeah, you did. Awesome. What do we got? Yeah. I'm ready. I have my tea. Where's my water? You're kidding me, right? Oh, boy. Ladies and gentlemen, the battle is dark! Why? Shh. Why is the battle dark? Hold on. Hold on. Why is the battle dark? It's right there! You see it, computer. Come on. Oh, who sees the computer? You see the computer. No, not chat. Chat is not the battle. Nice try. Yeah, there we go. We got there. All right. God dang it. Anyways, it is going to be I Am Groot on the close side. Golden State Greninjas on the far side. We see the Flygon. We see all the Pokemon, and Bulu making its appearance. We don't see the... We see the Entei. We do not see the Swellow, but the Honchkrow is going to be the better choice here just to get a lot of knockoffs going on, because that's just going to be a lot of pain, and it could even be Scarf to try and take on the Infernape, or just deal a lot of damage to deal with Flygon and Infernape. But will be a Steelix v Electros lead. Now, Electros... The most it's going to be carrying is Flamethrower, so you do need to check that with the Blissey. The Flamethrower is going to come out now. The one thing that we like for Golden State Greninjas when it comes to their Electros is mixed sets are real. Now, the good thing for I Am Groot is Blissey and Steelix can handle all of that. He's actually going to stay in here and check the damage. Drain Punch comes through. It does absolutely nothing. And that is what you're going to see with Electros, is even if it has mixed, it's not going to be doing a lot of damage because oftentimes you need to split the offense. So yeah, you can have coverage, but you have to kind of give and take, invest fully into one. The other one's just there for coverage. So seeing that damage is kind of scary for Golden State Greninjas, as now the Empoleon's going to come in. The Size of Toss makes the most sense. Get the damage down. There's no reason to go for Toxic when Empoleon makes the most sense and you're trying to get the rocks up. The Entei is going to come in wanting to go offensive. The Stealth Rock does come through. It will have to be the Honchkrow either coming in with Defog potentially or just things having to start taking damage. But getting the hazards early could help Golden State Greninja just try and force the switches. But the thing is, what does he have to force the switches? Because Entei does a lot of damage here. So with this, now something has to either take the damage or he has to essentially have something on his team to scare Groot into switching quite a bit to stack up that damage and then come in with Infernape or the Flygon to sweep. That's a lot of damage for a Flare Blitz. Not Sacred Fire this time, opting for a little bit extra base power. But with that recoil plus the Toxic, Entei's time will be limited, although we could see a Heal Bell on Blissey to kind of remedy that. No Wish, though. So damage is going to stick, but this is a defensive Pokemon on the side of Golden State Greninjas that he heavily relies on. Remember, he likes to switch into the Empoleon. He likes to be able to use all of these Pokemon effectively to be able to get through and get his proper Pokemon in, try and scare them off. When you have a stronger team, though, like I am Groot's, switching him is not going to be easy, especially when he can trade damage so effectively, and he knows he has multiple threats. But it is good to know there is Toxic on the Empoleon. We're not going to be doing our whole, like, here's your sheets, track to see what they found, guys, because, well, they're going to be switching it for semis. But either way, what is the switch? You might have to just give up Empoleon. Honestly, Empoleon isn't going to manage much. It was going to handle the Honchkrow, but even then, Honchkrow can go for the dark, stab dark, and even then, it's not going to be doing that much. So he is just going to stay in, opt for the recoil damage, let the Toxic tick down. Didn't have Protect this time. That would have been nice just to stack extra damage, but since there is none, we're going to bring Entei down to half. Aerodactyl can come in, can Mega up. We might see an Entei Satin. No, I think Entei's pretty important here. No, actually, Honchkrow can take down the Bulu, so might just see Entei go for Extreme Speed, get damage down on Aerodactyl, but he is opting to keep it alive, so there you go. He's got enough to actually have it for 2 more turns. The Stone Edge does miss as Gastrodon comes in. Luckily for Golden State Grid, it is not the biggest deal. Yes, damage is damage, but it was Stone Edge on a Gastrodon. That's not going to do much at all. Scald will be coming in, does not get the burn on the Electros. This definitely signals that a Giga Drain's on here. Blissey is going to make its way back in, almost 95% chance. Hopefully that hits more than Ice Hammer. Yes, I had to take a shot. I'm sorry, Anish. I had to. Blissey will make its way, and we do see the prediction, though. Nice prediction for Golden State Greninjas, knowing that the Blissey makes the most sense there. And that's what you need to see. You're going to have to get this damage. You need to put him on edge. Now, the thing is, Soft Boil just makes up all of that as the Volt Switch will now come in. Seeing the Blissey staying safe and secure, I do expect either Aerodactyl or the Infernape. Ooh, Bulu comes in. Okay, so this is interesting. Bulu does have superpower. It carries the Horn Leech. It carries Mega Horn. This thing hurts. What on the side of I Am Groot really wants to take it? Steelix might have to be the Pokemon to check it here, because Entei will be brought too low to take the hit. Terrakion will die. Honchkrow, you don't want to worry about. If he goes for superpower, it's going to hurt. But this is an excellent switch from Golden State Greninjas. This is a tough Pokemon for him to take when Bulu gets in for free. So let's see what I Am Groot opts for here, because it's going to be a lot of damage depending on what move we see Greninjas go into. I don't think you go Terrakion predicting a Mega Horn, because that's just too risky, and Terrakion, I don't think can kill with X-Scissor or anything like that, so it doesn't make sense. But this is a great position for Golden State Greninjas. Going on the offense, also being faster than the wall, so the wall can't get anything done. It will just be taken out, so the timer is going to, Groot is dipping in. Might have to check the damage calcs on the Steelix, seeing how much damage he's going to take. He ends up going for Nature's Madness, though! And that's interesting that he actually just opts to cut the HP in half with Life Orb, too, so he pays a bit of his HP to get that done. He does Horn Leech, so it's not the absolute worst. Not punished, but good to know that Nature's Madness is on here. But now the problem is, well, I mean, this would have happened 1 turn earlier if he just gone to kill. Now the Electros will make its way in. The Brave Bird does come out. That does a critical amount of damage, which, you know, kind of pays off with extra recoil, but with that free hit not being taken, gotta be worried. And I Am Groot can play off that knowledge, seeing that World Leader wants to play it safe and just get everything down 50%. Although, looking at the team, just going for the strong stab move would have been a lot of damage to anything that would have stayed in. Still works out in the end, though, so nothing to panic about yet. Steelix now will make its way in. Volt Switch can't do anything to do. This makes the most sense. Now Steelix can also get the rocks up, knowing that Drain Punch will do nothing, but even then if it gets the rocks up, that's all that Steelix really needs to do, as Honchkrow can pretty much clean up this match if it's kept safe enough here. So the Flamethrower will come in. It is halved, but the rocks mean more, in my opinion. Steelix has already done its job. It's not going to want to take hits from Flygon. Bulu's going to punch it in. Aerodactyl's going to punch it in. Now that's been brought low as well to exchange for rocks. You know, yes, nothing would have one-shot this, especially with having Sturdy, but knowing that the rocks will add up more, knowing he can put more pressure down when Terrakion and Entei both come in, this makes a lot more sense to try and get the numbers in the right position. So let's see what's going to happen now. Terrakion comes in. Empoleon might have had enough defense to take a close combat. Most likely not. He's just going to opt to stay in here. See what he's going to go for. We don't know what item it is. All we know is it's not Life Orb, but it's not Leftover. So it could be a Z Crystal. It could be a choice in some way. I think Scarf makes a lot of sense here, at least either on this or I didn't check much on the Honchkrow. That might be Scarf. But the Bulu's going to come in, checking for the Scarf. A little bit of healing will come out as well after the exchange, but Hornleech will put pressure down. Now, here's the thing, though. Honchkrow coming into the rocks plus the stab Hornleech is not going to feel great, and that might just put it in a really bad position, because if it has to go for Brave Bird, it will die to recoil, but if it gets to trade on the Bulu, you could still win with Terrakion against the rest if this is, in fact, a Scarfed Honchkrow. But, Scarfed Terrakion, because that means that Mega Aerodactyl will be outsped, and that will give I Am Groot the easy finish off with Stone Edge plus close combat against everything, if we see enough damage come out from 1 or 2 switches on the rocks. But at this point, Bulu is commanding the battle. And this is World Leader bringing in a Pokemon, making this trade before he was done, 1 week before playoffs. Not that playoffs trade, the final trade of the week, when Fortnite wanted to bring Venusaur against Traversity Thundurus. And this is paying off dividends. We also thought that the Bulu's grassy terrain would be pretty supportive to his defensive core, but Honchkrow is going to make its way in. How much damage is it going to take? Hornleech comes in. It does not live the damage. And Bulu is putting a hole in I Am Groot here in game number 1. Entei will now come in. The Toxic plus the Rocks adding up. There's nothing to get rid of Rocks here. This is the final countdown. How much damage can he get done before we go into game number 2? Can he take it? The Flygon's going to make its way in, most likely on a Fire move, Sacred Fire, and Flare Blitz. Spotted on the moveset. Does not get the burn, though. If this is Scarf Flygon, he's got it. He has to check with Gastrodon. He needs to see what's going to be happening here. The Earthquake does indeed fire off, and we don't see Life Orb, so this could confirm a Scarf Flygon. But the thing is, Gastrodon is super bulky, also has access to healing. If it gets the burn here, it's going to feel really, really good, and it does indeed. Flygon is doomed. One could say it's a bit sloppy here, but nothing else could be coming in. So Flygon's going to have to be sacrificed. We're just going to see the Recover come out. Makes the most sense. Full value for I Am Groot with the Grassy Terrain down. This does mean Bulu can come back in and set it up, but actually, if Bulu comes in right now, something has to die. And it will, actually, yeah, no, with this, he's pretty much doomed. The Bulu comes in. Hornleech kills everything. World Leader may have found the in here, despite the fact Given's a good Pokemon trading, but this is going to be a hard Pokemon for takedown. We're going to have to see this. Actually, one thing that I thought about, Crobat is no longer on the side of I Am Groot, and that would have been a really good Pokemon to have here against Bulu, but without that, he's got nothing to just truly defend that. He's going to have to send it in. One shot with the Hornleech. Finding a lot of value here on the Golden State Greninjas. Entei will make its final step in here. We might even see, I'm curious to see if he's going to keep this Bulu alive, go into something like Aerodactyl, let the Entei just pass, because then, if he wants to check if it's Scarfed, I don't know if he'll have priority on that Infernape. That's a move set we haven't seen yet. Mega Aerodactyl could still get outsped if that is a Scarf Terrakion. We'll have to figure that out. The Infernape instead is sent in to take the hit. Yeah, it's going to take it quite well, and we'll get that tiny bit of healing. It's a Terrakion versus the world. Can Terrakion finish the sweep in time? We don't actually know. Mach Punch will happen. There it is. Brings it low. The Stone Edge will happen. It's the only move he can lock himself in to kill everything off. But if it doesn't take out the Bulu, game 1 is going to the underdog. Aerodactyl coming in here to check to see if Terrakion is Scarfed. It is indeed good to know. Now we're playing a little bit of fire here, because if that's a crit that comes through, This is gonna be it. He needs the critical hit on the Stone Edge or not to miss it all. We've seen the luck that Sweet D has. And he is gonna hit it, and he's not gonna get the kill. That's game 1. Going over to Golden Stage Greninjas. The trade with the coach that could bring World Leader to the semifinals. It's a little too early because it's a lot of information that's been, oh my goodness. Tee. I forgot to, actually, you know, put down people's names when I put down battles. Ha ha. But hey, that's super important to note that with all of that going on, that's a Pokemon that's going to be crushing Sweet D. He doesn't have the answer for it. Yeah, see, I left this all blank. You guys will know. Don't worry. I'll fill it all in for you. We're good. But what a good call here. Hey, what a good trading from Golden State Greninjas, getting the Bulu in for free. That is going to be the win condition. That's what we need to see for him. Now, having said that, though, there were still some misplays that we need to be concerned with. Obviously, going for the Nature's Match instead of just going straight for the attack. This could be abused by I Am Groot in game number 2 and beyond. Of course, there's a little bit of different mind games that come in between a series of 2 and a best of 5. In a best of 5, you get to know the movesets a lot more. Now he knows it's a Scarf Terrakion. We still don't quite know what that Honchkrow is. If we do see a double Scarf come out, I would have to see what damage happened here. Do I have a Pokemon to check damage with? I technically do. Without looking at, I do a very good job of not looking at the items. I just kind of stare at the damage. Electros. So let's see. So if he's going for the Brave Bird. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so still can't officially call what it's going to be. But nonetheless, if World Leader finds a way to keep getting Bulu in for free and putting down the pressure at the right time, it's going to be a pretty good deal for him, and he could be able to trade up positively nonstop. Having said that, though, we have another bird that come out here in Swellow. If Entei is play a little better, doesn't get toxic, now we know how much damage is going to be dealt with the Flare Blitz against that Empoleon. If these types of things go better, we might even see a little bit of a, he can't go into Suicune, so what would he have to bring? He could bring Superior, but probably just fearing what that Bulu could do, maybe just checking out to see what it would do, despite the fact that it could resist everything and go for Mega Horn. I don't know. Mandibuzz could also make its way in, just being another physically defensive Pokemon that can take the hit, threaten with Brave Bird knockoff. So there could be a lot of value. I think here for Sweet D, it's going to be knowing that World Leader is going to be going for very specific plays. And if it gives him that extra defense, then he can abuse and just take little advantages here and there. Knock off nonstop. Have 2 or 3 Pokemon that could kill off the Bulu. If this goes through, that's okay. I mean, yes, you don't want to take the play rough, but having anything that could take the hits, this is where you got to go to damage calcs. Use the 5 minutes, look for the damage calcs, see what movesets you've got on your side, and what you can do with it. I feel like either a Swellow is coming in, but I do agree. I think the Gastron's making its way out. Which, interestingly enough, Sweet D does like to run with 3 defensive Pokemon most times. So dropping this would be a deal. We could see Banette also make its way in, Mega Banette. Would not be able to run with the Steelix, however, but Steelix is still okay without its Mega. What the Mega Banette can do, or even just bringing regular Banette, what you could do with it is have the Prankster Will-O-Wisp and shut down that Bulu early, and if World Leader's not ready for that, then you've got a problem. So, good to see everybody in chat. Thank you for keeping the hype high. Toast, Pancakes, Gamma, Sharking, of course Sharking. Suwako, Marie, Officer, everybody, thank you very much for showing up for the ProPokeBowl playoffs. Hi, Sai. What's up, man? But yeah, I think it's going to be making a bit of a trade here. We might have to see him drop a lot of these Pokemon, just try and bring more things to handle. Because really, outside of Bulu, when Bulu doesn't come in for free, Sweet D wins. Because if Entei's not toxic and doesn't take 2 helpings of Stealth Rock, he's in a good position to just keep sweeping. And I think without that recoil damage, it becomes a little bit more comfortable for him and he just stays alive longer. So I don't expect, if we do, I'd be very interested to see if Entei stays in on the Empoleon, knowing that that you're most likely going to get more done with the Terrakion against the Empoleon, even though you don't want to risk the Scald or the Flash Cannon that we know World Leader loves to run on this. So they have about a minute left to make their changes, and then we're going to be getting into game number 2 of 5, potentially. This could be a very interesting series depending on, because this is one of those situations that I love about the playoffs, is we can't just discredit an underdog because we know that Sweet D has such great strategy. With acquiring a Pokemon, or just getting even that one advantage, just one single Pokemon that can give you advantage, but seeing that both sides, like you have the one side that has a Pokemon advantage that's going to crush, but then have the other side that has their own Pokemon advantages to crush, it can go back and forth. So this is what we kind of somewhat expected from this, but this is also what I called on the Pro Poke podcast, is if World Leader wins game 1, does Sweet D just win the next 3? Because you'll have enough information to bring out whatever he needs. Remember, they can't make changes to any of their movesets throughout all 5 games. So did Sweet D build enough? Can I Am Groot take back what was his and just claim more kills with the Entei, claim more kills with the Terrakion? Honchkrow getting the Moxie boost. Like, if we could find these things for him, it could be good to go. And I'm excited to see this because now we have a wrench thrown in the works, ladies and gentlemen, as game number 2 is coming in, and we have Golden State Greninjas putting up a good fight. Let's get into it. Let's see if there are any changes to the teams. In fact, we do see the Superior, so saying I can play well enough and just go a little more aggressive to the point where I could just set up and start doing a lot of damage. And I actually like this because against the likes of Empoleon, this can also check to see if Empoleon has the Ice Beam or just has anything to answer and kind of just set up for free and just do a bunch of damage, not have to worry about Bulu coming in and tanking the hits because it is Life Orb, so we're not worrying about an Assault Vest, we're not worrying about defensive investment. Maybe it has some HP in it, maybe less speed, not too sure though. It is the Pro Pokeball playoffs. Anything can happen. The Infernape versus the Entei lead. I like this. Both switching up their leads. Infernape could be carrying Fake Out, although I think we would have seen it against the Terrakion unless Golden State was holding out some information. But here's the deal. You gotta worry about Bulldoze on Entei. In fact, yeah, no, Bulldoze does more damage than Stab Flare Blitz. How much damage do you want to trade on the Entei? I like this. I like this because this means that if this Entei is not going to get stuff done, Infernape could just go for straight close combat, do a bunch of damage, and Stone Edge instead brings it really low, and that's the start you don't want to see. Yes, Sacred Fire happens, that's a lot of damage, almost accurate move, but with this Life Orb Infernape, Mach Punch plus Stone Edge is going to doom the Entei, and that's already a huge disadvantage here for I Am Groot. This was an important Pokemon for taking down the Empoleon, unless he's saying screw it, Superior and Terrakion will trade it. If I can get rid of this Priority Puncher, we're going to be A-okay. We'll have to see how this battle plays out because I don't really know. That's a lot of damage, though. Oh, shoot, my multi's still going. Like I said, not many things were fixed up. Haha, there we go. Sweet D taking his sweet time with the timer, trying to figure out what he's got to do here because here's the thing. With Entei taking so much damage, that means now we have to look towards that Honchkrow, we have to look towards the Superior and the Terrakion. We know the Terrakion can clean up the Empoleon fairly safely, it doesn't going to get burned. Blissey instead is going to make its way in as the Mach Punch does happen. That's a fair amount of damage. And this could be just a bunch of switches here to try and get that Life Orb damage to get him down really low. And that's exactly what it's going to be. He might be even going into Honchkrow after this to force a Moxie switch, because you don't want to give Honchkrow a Moxie boost. And you also have to fear that maybe he's brought Sucker Punch. I don't think so. But it does mean that if Honchkrow comes in, he basically gets a free attack. So, yeah, there it is. Honchkrow does come in. He says, punch me, I dare you, and I will have a +1 ramming into your face. And you don't want to take that risk. Electros will indeed make its way in. As Superpower is used, that's a lot of damage to the eel. But it won't do the same amount because -1 attack from the Superpower. But that's good damage here from Electros and no recoil either. This could be an easy switch into the Steelix. Now, one thing to note, with the Blissey dead, that means that you only have a defensive side. Special attackers could happen, but if you look at the side of Golden State, a lot of them are physical, so Steelix will have a lot of good tanking and a lot of good threat between a Stone Edge, Heavy Slam, and or Earthquake. Now we see Golden State Greninjas now taking their time, trying to figure out what's the next move here. Night Slash, or Knockoff, or Brave Bird shouldn't kill. Shouldn't. With that -1 attack. But you also know that I Am Groot does not want to take a Volt Switch. This is an important Pokemon for later. Don't want too much recoil. Want to get as much value out of the Honchkrow as you can. A crit would mean a lot of problems, though, because that would give him a Moxie boost, and then I Am Groot just starts going to town with base damage again. But let's see what he wants to go into here. Oh, this is tough, man, because you want to click Volt Switch, but you know Superior or so. Okay, well, either way, he actually sends it in, and Flamethrower's used. Golden State predicts the Steelix, but will take a roasted snake instead. That's not good, but the nice thing here is unless Superior is scarfed, Aerodactyl can come in and clean this up. Terrakions gonna be the double switch. A burn here would spell pretty much doom. The 10% happens, and that's gonna burn the Terrakion. And this should be an easy game too for Golden State. This is that Superior now has to carry. If rocks come out, Superior has to carry the entire series. The Stone Edge misses to boot. The Giga Drain comes through, and everything is collapsing for Sweet D. That's just kicking a man down. Come on. He's on the ground. Don't do this to him. Flamethrower is used for safety, knows it'll kill off. And now the Honchkrow has to come back in and say, I can superpower, get the Moxie boost. He instead goes for the Brave Bird. Thinks that he's going to switch out. The Volt Switch will happen. The kill on the Honchkrow comes through. And ladies and gentlemen, we are in an alternate universe where Golden State is looking semifinals material against a champion in the ProPokeBowl. Aerodactyl will make its way in, but the Steelix knows it can take any hits. It can go for the Heavy Slam in one shot, even go for the Stone Edge and kill off the Mega Arrow. So you're going to see Golden State switch. It might even be that Empoleon coming in. Knowing Terrakion is down, Empoleon feels a lot safer. And with all that damage on Superior, you don't even have to set up Grassy Terrain. You can just try and threaten here. Scald could try and get the burn, but I mean, you don't want it doing too much damage. You still have to worry about the speed. But if that Superior is scarfed, it could spell doom. But I don't think Aerodactyl stays in here. The Empoleon indeed doesn't make its way in. Steelix comes through, does go for Gyro Ball, but does nothing to the big old penguin. That is insane RNG for Golden State, but they'll take it because it's Pokemon. Earthquake does come out. That's a lot of damage to note for the next match. The Stealth Rocks are actually set up. How much damage is on the Entei? The Entei's dead, so it's up to Superior. Scald comes through, does not get the burn. Doesn't get a 30% burn, but gets the 10% burn on the Flamethrower. Interesting. Fascinating, but nonetheless, Steelix no longer has Sturdy. The rocks are up, which means Entei is dead. But now, remember, depending on what this build on this Superior is, Entei can be used as death fodder, and then Superior could come in for free. Instead, oh, the critical hit brings it to 1%, but the Ice Fang says hello, and Flygon is taken down. Luck that you could get onto if you are an I Am Groot fan. Infernape will now make its way in. This is a lot of HP to trade up here. But, again, you want to keep this alive because 2 Mach Punches. I wonder if Mach Punch actually kills Superior from this range. If that does 27%, it's over. Entei's coming in. He might have just rolled over and said, take the 2-0. I'm going for the reverse sweep. That's enough damage. Sweet D down 0-2 in his eliminations round. I'm going to tell you right now. No, I don't know what to suggest. I think that's the best iteration of the team he could bring because what more can you want from the side of I Am Groot? He's got to reset. He's just got to stop getting crit. Stop getting haxed forehead. Nonetheless, I mean, looking from plays aside, the reason why that hacks happened is because he made the prediction with the Terrakion. Well, not so much prediction with the Terrakion, predicted the Steelix, gets the burn, right? So, unfortunate hacks coming out here for I Am Groot. But then you see, it's really hard to look over the Terrakion because the Terrakion missing the Stone Edge, which doesn't bring it into range. Then you've got not enough, because there's no Stone Edge, doesn't take enough damage from the Brave Bird to die, and then the Volt Switch one-shots him. It's a really tough thing. It's a really tough pill to swallow here for I Am Groot because now you know you have the Wing Condition. You know you could do it. But that match doesn't help much because the only thing it helps you with is Golden State Greninjas played it out a little bit more aggressively, which is great. And you now know how much damage is going to be flying out of them for him. You might have already known, but now we see the close combat. We see the Mach Punch. We know there are moves that are going to hurt. And with the Blissey being down, it didn't matter because the Steelix had to stay alive. Steelix can take a pretty good hit, a pretty good chunk here from the Empoleon, from the Aerodactyl, so, and sorry, from the Flygon, because that Ice Fang coming out is pretty good because it does shut down the Flygon, so I don't think there's going to be much thinking between this. Because I think when in a non-hack situation, that match goes twice as long, and over time, if we see... Because that prediction on Superior was phenomenal, right? But you could question if he predicted... Because he was predicting Steelix, that's why he goes for Flamethrower. I don't think he expected Sweet D to go so aggressive with the Serp, but we like that because we already know that I Am Groot did not use... He used the Steelix once and blocked the Volt Switch. Golden State Greninja is not going to fall for that again. So... This match matters, Tyler, because it's the best of 5 in the playoffs. Only winners, no points. But yeah, I think you just reset, see how it plays out. And you just go from there, and it looks like they're already into the match. I don't know what changes, if we're going to see any changes, but I think you don't change on the side of Golden State Greninjas until you see something phenomenal happen and learn something that you may need with your Pokemon. But you may have found the 6 that he needs. Oh, man. We are in match point. We are in match point. Did you expect that today? I didn't expect that today. Let's go. This is match point for Golden State Greninjas, up 2-0 here in game number 3. The Swellow is brought in. He says, we are going to wreck everything. Straight offense. Forget Blissey. It means nothing. We're going to play it out like a Traverse City. We're going to play it out like Fortnite. We're just going all in all the time. Aerodactyl versus Honchkrow. The fastest Mon to say, hey, you sent out anything. I'm outspeeding this. You're not leading Steelix. We already know this. I like this from Golden State, saying we already led with something faster to punch it in, but now I've got my penultimate speed. The Supersonic Ultimate Fossil. Steelix has to say hello as the Mega does come in. The Stone Edge's used, won't be doing anything. But this does mean for I Am Groot, early rocks, early damage. The Electros is going to make its way in, so early rocks is going to be feeling really good. He actually ends up going for Gyro Ball, though. Maybe think that World Leader would try and bring out something like an Earthquake, try and do damage, but instead gets ultimate value here on his Electros. So this is good. That means he doesn't have to worry about too many switches here. He's not going to be taking all that residual damage. Does have to, and I Am Groot does have to worry about Flamethrower. This Steelix does get a fair amount of value here for tanking 2 hits and then threatening with Earthquake or Ice Punch. So Entei is going to have to make its way in on the Flamethrower. This is the position I Am Groot wants to be in. Entei is now free, not taking damage. Flare Blitz is going to hurt. Something has to pay for it. That's going to actually be Electros, opting just to get all of the recoil down. So not too bad here for I Am Groot. That's a much better start because even that'll have 3 Stealth Rock switch-ins if it just goes for Sacred Fire, which it carries both of. So this is the better lead that I Am Groot is hoping for. Losing Electros is kind of unfortunate because that was a thing that could take the hits from Honchkrow and then go for the Volt Switch in one shot at 88%. But it's not over. Golden State has won without it before. Yes, he got the hacks. This time he can't burn the Terrakion. But we also have to think about which... We also get to see... We get a picture of what that Swellow is going to be bringing to in this match. The Flygon's going to make its way in. And you do have to worry because it is Scarfed. It is going to be coming out of your Stone Edge. Does miss as the Steelix knows it can make its way in. And we know Golden State's going to switch to Empoleon most likely. So we might even just see an Earthquake prediction here. If you start making the same plays that Golden State was doing where you're just predicting what it's going to be playing out like in the series, you lose nothing. You literally lose nothing. He could even go for Rocks here, just trying to check to see if Empoleon will be the Pokemon to come in, because it's really not worth it at all for Golden State to try and get damage on the Steelix. He knows he can bring it down later. He's got tons of Pokemon that can go for super effective moves. So Empoleon makes the most sense. You don't want to take the Earthquake, yes, but no matter what, something horrible is going to happen to you. You're either getting Hazard or you're getting damaged. So one of those two is going to happen. Golden State taking their time here to plan it out. We could even, if we see an aggressive switch like Bulu, but Ice Fang still hurts, but the rocks happen instead. Now here's the problem. With that grassy terrain, it barely almost brings him in, but he can't do damage. We don't think Bulu with Life Orb will kill his superpower, and you don't want to lose this thing to the likes of the Ice Fang, despite the fact we don't see Gastrodon in here. This thing still threatened the Terrakion. This thing's still scared out the Superior, and Steelix is not in a position to do this. This is not great. I'm actually kind of surprised this. He will opt to go for Nature's Madness, but I mean, I'll take the Ice Fang. Oh, never mind. Go for Gyro Ball. It's much stronger. Haha, I forgot. But that's a lot of damage Bulu had to soak in yes, you go for the superpower, but you want Bulu to come in on priority, not being switched in on after a kill. I wonder if it even kills with superpower at this point. That I'd have to check. This is a damage calc to know. Not too sure. But nonetheless, that is a lot of damage that Bulu had to soak in. And Steelix, again, getting his very tiny healing. We saw with the crit, it barely lived hits before. So this is not the Pokemon you want to gain HP on, especially when all of your attackers are physical. All of your main sweeping attackers. Both coaches taking their time. Golden State Greninja's going down to 100 or 210 seconds. What is it going to be? One match away for Golden State Greninjas to go straight to the semifinals in the fastest series and the fastest and the most bizarro World Series we could have predicted. Time being taken here, but very important. One slip up and I Am Groot goes home early. Way early than he wants to. Already getting haxed out in Game 2. Getting haxed out in the regular season. You don't want to experience that. The Honchkrow and the Empoleon both say hello. And this is a good switch for Golden State. He's feeling pretty comfortable, although there is a superpower to worry about. Yes, getting the burn on Honchkrow would be great, but do you risk it? Because that's a lot of damage you have to tank. He's going to go for it. Tanks it up. Okay. And he's going to go for it. Here we go. The Toxic instead is dropped. Interesting. Doesn't want to go for the burn. Is he carrying Scald? Is he not carrying Scald again? But that's like best case scenario for I Am Groot, because this thing doesn't stay in for very long. And when it does, it's just going to try and get as many kills as it can. So maybe a bit of fatigue here in game number 3 for Golden State. But so far, I Am Groot getting the situations he wants. The problem is he's trying to get in, but he's got to always be afraid that World Leader's going to whip out that random move and just destroy something. But I think he's been comfortable between turn 1 to now. Nothing has felt like he's been thrown off by hacks. Nothing's been thrown off by an unstandard play or non-standard play. So, yeah. The Superior is going to make its way in as Defog happens. Ooh, that's an interaction you don't want to see. As he actually gains evasion, I think it's time to flip the hacks on its head. Because if this is sub-Superior, I think that's game. Nope, he's just going to go for it. Doesn't get the damage on. He has to hit the Toxic. He does hit it through the +1 evasion. So, not the worst for Golden State Greninjas. But Superior is still pretty free here with attacking. And the damage is not going to tick enough to take +6 hits fast enough. He doesn't seem to be having Protect. At least he's not showing it. Interesting situation we have ourselves in here, because you can say that Golden State, again, not taking advantage of the situation, or just, I think I Am Groot just leading off better and stronger and just having more hits to take and feeling better about it. You know, Steelix always gets the value against the majority of his Pokemon. Golden State Greninja's down to 120 seconds. Aerodactyl will be the sacrificial fodder as the crit comes in. I don't know if that actually mattered. But with that being gone, that's a lot of speed. Yes, Terrakion would have outsped it anyways. And yeah, you have Pokemon to punch this thing out. Unless he's trying to get it low enough that he goes into Infernape and trying to kill it with Mach Punch. I don't see his answer. And here's the worst part about it. What's your answer to Swellow now? Because that Aerodactyl would have outsped the Swellow and would have managed it. Yeah, Flygon come in. Yes, it is Scarfed. Okay, so with this Scarf, he can threaten with the U-turn. Just kidding. He's Life Orb. I forgot about it. Is he Life Orb? Alright, well, no, that might be a Scarf Superior. Huh. Hold on. Yeah, it was Scarf. That's a Scarf Superior. Oh my god, is that 3 Scarfers? Is that 2 Scarfers or 3? I've lost track of the Scarves. This man's opening an Emporium. But, you know, it's looking pretty good here because with Scarf... Actually, did we say Scarf Superior on the podcast, Gamma? Because I think it gets the most value here. Yeah, he's just going to try and stall us out. If he has Protect, he has to show it now. But I think... Yeah, no, that should just be it. He's really trying to bring it down, but you've lost so many Pokemon. Maybe this is the time where you think that Mach Punch comes in, and it barely misses the kill, and that should be a +6 murder, and that's going to be I Am Groot starting to claw his way back here in game number 3. Groot getting the advantage and making Golden State Greninjas not look like the 2-0 was well earned in his favor. But yep, Entei comes in, outspeeds the Bulu, and we have ourselves a series, ladies and gentlemen, because now this is where the mind games start happening. GG! I am Groot pulls it back to 1 and 2. And perhaps that's the way we expected this entire series to go. But, you know, there's a few things that were happening there. So, first of all, you see Golden State just not lead with the Aerodactyl, but they don't see the Steelix coming. And now I think we start seeing a blaring issue with what's happening to the Golden State Greninjas. There's no special attackers. And Steelix, and we have Swellow now, so you don't have a Blissey that's just going to drop for free. You have another threat that maybe Golden State's thinking about. World Leader now has to think, do I need to make a switch, right? Because he's up 0-2 or he's up 2-0. Doesn't make the switch because he's still safe. Now he's 2-1, and he's seen what's going to happen, what plays out, especially when that Steelix is not hurt enough. Rocks are set up, or just a lot of damage is dealt. Losing the Electros early, also the fact that he has the Steelix that's going to be able to tank up hits and deliver a bunch of damage back. You know, we saw the amount of damage Gyro Ball does. We see that it has Ice Fang. These two Pokemon, Honchkrow and Steelix, are going to make it very easy for the rest of the Pokemon to come in. And Serperior is Scarfed. So with Serperior being Scarfed, he needs to make sure that he can take the hit somehow and then come in and still finish it with priority. Because it's not over, but we did say that Scarf Serperior, or at least if we didn't, we meant to say it because I had it in my notes, that Scarf Serperior just makes a lot of sense. He sets up with speed. He gets his contrary boost. He was lucky enough to hit that Toxic, but it was too little too late, and the thing was already on its way. So is this where you start seeing the cracks in the armor? Is this where you start to see that Sweet Tea basically says, well, if I just play it differently, get my defensive core out at a different time, aka Steelix, and then just start sweeping you with 5 offensive Pokemon, is that the answer? The answer might be yes. We know that Golden State doesn't have walls, or the moves that he will bring don't necessarily bring the damage that's going to do the most on the walls. Like, there's not a lot of pressure, there's no hazard stack he needs to worry about, there's no pivoting, right? Empoleon doesn't pivot, Infernape can't pivot, that's not even defensive core. The Pelipper being gone, and what else does he have? He has, you know, he went all in with the aggression, so do we see the Drampa come back? Do we see the Gliscor come in? Because I don't think Gliscor is going to help him at this point, because you have to worry about both special and physical attackers. So maybe this is why we only see the Empoleon. So then the question becomes, when do we see Bulu do what it did in Game 1? Where he brought it in for free, right? Was it because of the Gastrodon and the Blissey that Bulu got more value? Most likely yes, because now, with every kill that Bulu would score, another Pokemon comes in and tries to kill him. So that just might be the answer. Maybe just these switches in the next 2 matches, or over these 2 matches, might give Sweet D the reverse sweep. And, you know, if Game 2 never happened, match point would be reversed right now. So there's a few things that could ramp up a World Leader's head, not to instill it into his mind. But he was lucky enough to get into that state for Golden State Greninjas to be able to see what a match would look like when he's on the back foot and play it out differently. But we're not done here yet. Game number 4 coming up here shortly. He got Bulu trading out his Venusaur Initiator. Good to see you, man. And I think so far, if you're a Golden State Greninjas fan, even if you didn't vote for him in the bets, if you're a Golden State Greninjas fan, you can get excited because this is what we wanted to see, right? It's not even out of nowhere sets. He's playing it standard, and he's playing it well against a person who has a lot of experience, is a former champion, and has a very solid team. So let's see what it's going to look like for him in game number 4 here. 2-1 for Golden State Greninjas watching Golden State drop, but it's going to be the same team coming in here. So, what is the new plan? We need to see these Bulu kills, this Bulu pressure. It might not exist as much anymore because of the Swellow and the Honchkrow getting in better, but Entei leading against the Flygon. Flygon is Scarfed, so Entei does have to worry about the Earthquake, has to worry about the Stone Edge, but again, we might see the Steelix come in, but this time, if the Steelix does come in, we might even see a Bird come in to try and predict. Oh my goodness, the phone, please. Roasted eel. Whoa, that's an aggressive switch. Well, there's your Honchkrow answer being basically made for dinner. But that was an interesting decision, especially if that was Flare Blitz used. That would have been a dead Electros. But it doesn't have speed. He's just gonna die. Okay. Maybe Golden State seeing a little too far, and once he went for the U-turn, he's like, oh, well, that's not gonna get us enough. Yeah. Okay. The Steelix is going to make his way in as the Mega Aerodactyl is just going to go for the Stone Edge. Seeing these types of situations might be a red flag here for Golden State. Like, already losing that Electros is not the greatest thing because he did predict him to switch, but he didn't. And that's the mind games that come out in a best of 5. We've seen it before. We'll see it again throughout this match, and potentially the next one if I'm Groot does pull it away. But Golden State still on match point. Still important to remember, yes, the Electros was somewhat pivotal in getting some of the wins, hacks or not, but the Empoleon this time will make its way in. Not tanking it, not having to worry about the damage. And Steelix being hurt, there is no Sturdy. Still have to check for Scald. Still need to make sure that you do your checks and balances here. Bring in something offensive. Superior might make its way in here knowing that it can set up. Will Golden State see that? Will I Am Groot go for it? Because as long as you're, like, you can play standard, you can make risks that aren't going to cost you that much. Empoleon's not going to kill Superior, so making the switch into it is not the worst idea. Getting Toxic, he's not going to go for Toxic. It doesn't make sense. There's no prediction, there's no world where Toxic actually gets the most value out. You might see Steelix try and bait here with the Stealth Rock to try and get the evasion boost on the Superior again, but I don't know. It's kind of like Golden State loses nothing from going for Scald and doesn't have to go for Defog on the subsequent turn, but you always have to think about that Superior. So if he makes the switch, what could Steelix do? And the answer is, Steelix can get crit, not burned, but it is going to go for the Earthquake. My God, man! Steelix just putting a hole in the defensive line here for Golden State, aka they both have one defensive Pokemon right now. I'd like to point out, both of them are bringing one defense, and both of them are looking to about lose them both in the yellow. Yeah, Superior comes in for free now. Scald happens. Burn can happen. It's not going to matter. This is Superior once again. And without Toxic on the Serp, this is what we were talking about. It's like you can make the risk and take the Earthquake, but with that Ice Fang, I guess Flygon doesn't want her help as well as the Gyro Ball. That Steelix carrying 3 attacks is really tough for World Leader to play around. And with Superior coming into the Scarf, it's going to be outspeeding everything. Yes, it is only +2, but oh, the Leaf Storm misses! No way, you're not gonna do I Am Groot like this. There's not a chance he wants to go through this again. Now, how much does a stock Leaf Storm go for? Because killing off Superior would be enormous. And with that Steelix being hurt, yes, Earthquake can come out and kill it off, even if a Stone Edge misses. That is not, oh my God. Groot is playing it as optimally as possible, not getting predicted, getting the sweeper in. But there is some invisible force. What is it with this tournament and 10%? Stop it. Season 5 has been the worst year for 10% happenings, both positive and negative. I mean, I guess it could be positive for one and negative for the other, but it's just been so many turnarounds from 10%. You got to think back to Week 10. You got to think Game 2 in this series. It's going to happen. It's not even close to killing, as now the Aerial Ace comes through, and that's Superior down. That is a headache gone for Golden State. You could say lucky. Stays in to take it. Goes for the Aerial Ace, which does get the Tough Claws boost, by the way. And will not miss. So even if he went for Defog, felt safe. But my goodness, we are in a situation. Took it, actually, you know what? Based on the, let me check something here. I'm curious to see what's happening. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. That is something to talk about because, interesting fact to put out after this particular series, because I think I Am Groot is scratched to the head by the amount of damage dealt. And, you might be thinking, look at the Aerodactyl's HP and think about Superior. Either way, Aerodactyl taking out the snake. I mean, I personally like offensive flying stab. I like Aerial Ace on Aerodactyl too. I think it just gets value. Especially if he knows he needs to worry about Superior. Now Tracheon can't come in though. It's Scarfed, it's gonna get the damage again. We've got Scarfers galore here to deal with. So, Aerodactyl will have to switch out. I think this thing still gets good value to try and take on the other Pokemon, especially, again, if we have to think about the Swellow. We haven't seen the Swellow. We will outspeed the likes of the Entei, depending on with the Stone Edge. So, what is going to be happening? We might just see an Empoleon sack, or we might even see a double switch come out here for I Am Groot, try and get a favorable matchup. I don't think there is one. I think Tracheon just goes for the close combat, goes for a kill, because if we see Bulu come in, it's not going to want to maintain that damage. If we see Empoleon come in, it's dead. Anything else is going to die. So, I think close combat's the most standard play. Golden State, however, yeah, I think you just let it die. Nothing else is going to get done. He's just going to go to Bulu instead, says I can tank it. And how well does he tank it? You know, very, very well, actually. That was disgustingly well. But he's going to get his healing back. So, this is Bulu coming in essentially for free. And this is going to feel good because with those defense drops, it will be one shot and you'll heal up with Horn Leech. So now something has to come in and tank it, most likely the Swellow or the Honchkrow. You might even see a Steelix sack here to get his offensive Pokemon back in and just restart the whole process of things die one for one. This is basically, you know how people do follow for follow? This is D for D. This is death for death in this particular series. And it's all off the back of this Bulu. It will be the Steelix brought in. Ooh, okay, Stone Edge crits. But nothing lost because Bulu will still outspeed. And it could go for the Horn Leech. Although I'm curious to see if that's enough defense for the Mega Steelix to be able to tank a Horn Leech. And it's not. So he will get his healing back. Not the worst for Golden State. Again, nothing lost. No one is damaged. Calyx doesn't have to worry about losing it. But now the Entei does come in. This is what we figured would happen because you got to get the Bulu on the back foot. Now, Bulu doesn't do much except for the Terrakion. I'm curious if he's going to save it, knowing that Bulu could take the hits from Terrakion, and knowing that it's Scarfed will outspeed everything else. Because I don't think he's going to get any damage on that Terrakion anytime soon, so you need a Bulu to just basically one-shot it after a close combat or a Stone Edge, just be able to take the hits really well. We saw about, what was it, 48% from the Stone Edge on the Bulu. So, this is very, very, very interesting. But I think the Bulu's preserved. I think the Empoleon is sacked. Because, again, Groot is just looking to weaken it and get into a position where he can make the right switch to get the right offensive Pokemon out to then just start punching holes in. He knows he has all the speed, and that's more than enough. I don't even remember, how fast is Swellow? Anybody got, oh my god, 383. Good lord. I think, really, it was actually that fast? Wow. Sacred Fire on the Infernape. Interesting. Okay. Now, what does the Infernape plan to do here? It's Life Orb. It's going to go for the damage. Not opting to keep this for Mach Punch, or maybe just knowing that he needs to let this thing... I don't know. Like, Empoleon just makes... I don't know what the Empoleon's being saved for. It's a very interesting decision coming out here from Golden State, because you'd think the Infernape being full health would be great, so he gets a lot of Mach Punches off, can take the hit, go for priority, go for a normal move as well. But Groot is down to 60 seconds. Trying to make his decision. He's probably scratched his head, too, being like, I can't metagame as hard as this guy. This man is outplaying me, maybe. Or maybe they both just try and take the time. Obviously, as the series goes on, you get more and more tired. That is a Swellow getting one-shot by Stone Edge! That is gonna be painful, but that could be planned as maybe Swellow was in his win condition. Now Honchkrow comes in and says, I want Moxie. Oh, man, and he's gonna get it, actually. Once again, the Infernape getting damage, but getting the attack boost. What is this Empoleon gonna do for him? Because at this point with a +1, I don't think Empoleon does anything for his tanking either, because maybe he's thinking, like, I can take the hit and then go for the burn? But, again, that's an offensive Pokemon with priority. And with all of this recoil damage that we've seen I Am Groot has to sustain, and the damage they have to take to trade, I don't know. I really don't know with what he's trying to accomplish. And then as Star King mentioned in chat, Outrage could finish this. But the thing is, if Outrage doesn't finish, why not keep the priority user to be able to finish them off in dire straits? Like, that's where I'm scratching my head. Is the Empoleon like is Empoleon World Leader's prodigal son? Is he trying not to sacrifice family? The Stone Edge will connect and take it out. It's 4-2. Golden State is eyeing down Fortnite and saying, I'm getting to the top 4 now. As Terrakion does come in, it is outspeed. It's not over yet. Entei is without rocks, has HP, and there is no priority to finish it off when it's not killed off. These Pokemon are fairly healthy and fast and can still take it on. 3 Pokemon aside of Golden State. He's got to see what move gets locked in, though, because at this range, I think you have Close Combat. I think the worst part here for I Am Groot is whether you click Close Combat or Stone Edge, because if you click Stone Edge, Flygon comes in, Earthquake starts killing, he clicks Close Combat, Bulu comes in, tanks it, and then you have problems. However, you could still switch out the Entei on Bulu, so I think maybe you go Close Combat to bait it out, take the hit, but then you might see that coming. I don't know. This is a really tough decision here for Sweet D. Flygon will make its way in. Instead, his Close Combat's used. That's a problem, but okay, maybe with the defense drop, he knows Earthquake can kill, but the thing is, he's gonna be outsped. Why is Bulu being preserved? We don't know what Golden State's doing. That might be the throw that's gonna bring him down, because there's so many clear answers here for him. The Flygon finishes off the Entei, everything else. This, I guess, I Am Groot will take it as much as he'll take that axe in game 2. I don't know why these are happening. Like, the Empoleon is staying alive for so long. We have no priority left. The Flygon, which outspeeds the Entei, finishes. Because what happens if you miss? If you miss a Stone Edge, it's over. And that's a risk that didn't need to be taken here. Bulu will come in, but it could have come in on the damage. Unless he knows the damage calc, we don't know. But, I mean, Entei's coming in now. You're not keeping Tracheon in knowing it wins. Tracheon is the win condition once Bulu's dead, and now you don't have a Flygon to tank up a fire move, because here's the other thing. Maybe you see Entei go for the fire move on the Flygon. See? Stone Edge misses! That's what we didn't want to see! And now you've put your hands in the life of Hax, and we know what Hax looks like in this tournament. It's awful! And now you're in a position where something gets killed and Empoleon dies, and you're running out of switches. There's no priority. The HP is going to be healed up here by Entei, and Golden State Greninjas might have just put us in a Game 5 situation. Yes, he comes into this, but I'm not even sure this thing kills in one shot. It's got to hit the Stone Edge first, and then on top of that, yes, he can try and force the Close Combat out. Yes, it still makes sense, but it's unnecessary sacks, and that's not looking great, especially if this goes awry with the Stone Edge miss. It comes down to a Stone Edge hit. If he misses 2 in a row, might have to say I told you so. Oh, Grassy Train weakens Earthquake? I didn't know that. Interesting. I Am Groot, 30 seconds. Don't want to see a timeout. Worst thing to be would be the timeout against the person who timed out and got himself in this position. Oh, my goodness. Tracheon has to make its way in. Stone Edge comes through. It does, yeah, a decent amount of damage. Almost like it'd be enough damage for a Mach Punch to finish off. I'm a little salty. I'm just saying. But now, here you go. He can go for Stone Edge. He can just spam Stone Edge with Tracheon. This is the comeback for Sweet D, because Entei is not threatened. He didn't lose the Entei. He just goes for Stone Edge. Stone Edge will kill Aerodactyl and put a lot of damage into I Am Groot. But the timer's ticking down for I Am Groot here. 15 seconds, 10 seconds. He needs to push the timer, because otherwise he's going to be running out of time. He does have 20 seconds to go in here. Bulu is going to take the Iron Head. That is a move we haven't seen yet, and that's what he needs to finish this series. 48%. If he misses here on the 2% kill, he's going to go for it. He gets the critical hit, and he's going to bring us to game number 5, a place we shouldn't have been. But Golden State says, I can do it, but I'm going to make it close, as that is game 4 going to I Am Groot. That is a game that might haunt this whole series. It was free, one could argue. Having the extra Pokemon available, having the Empoleon to sack, the Flygon in the back to threaten the Entei and tank the fire moves. That's too many mistakes, and I Am Groot is gonna say, I'm gonna take it. With 15 seconds in his pool. Oh no. But we're in game 5. We shouldn't be in game 5. We shouldn't be. But we are. But we are. Oh my god, what happened here? Ah. Nope, that's not the music, it's this one. Why did that get messed up? Golden State Ninjas found the way in. But that late game did not go the way it should have gone. I'm not even going to say the way it could have gone. The way it should have gone. Very simple answers. You let the Empoleon die at some point. The Scarfed Flygon comes in. Goes for Stone Edges. Stone Edges finishes it off. You saw how much damage that it took from the Aerodactyl on the Terrakion. 32%. That's a pretty good deal. You get Flygon come in, start finishing things off with Outrage. But it's not there. And now, this is panic. This is, in my opinion, you put yourself in a position where you don't want this to happen. You know it's happened to you. That's a lot of stress. And I'm stressed. I think we're all stressed. It is all 5 games, Gamma. I'm talking about after the hacks, though, Sweet D, because we can't help the hacks, but we can help play that's going to lead to the win with the situation that goes. We wouldn't even have to be in that position if the Superior started going. But again, we have to talk about that Superior still not being managed, right? That, I mean, we saw the damage that the Aerodactyl was taking. Without +2, it does take the hit. So if he finds a way to get in there, I mean, we lost the Electros really early in Game 4. Which means that you don't have any volt switching anymore. Like, you don't have, we're not seeing, we saw U-turn, I believe, on Flygon, but, like, we're not seeing switches, we're not seeing the answers, and I Am Groot just needs to keep Superior alive. Once it stays alive, doesn't get hacked for once, you know, it's intense, I think. I think this is going to be a series we have to look at and go, this is one that has kept everybody on edge, because we have to play through Pokemon knowing that there's going to be hacks. But when you see that the hacks gave you lemons, and you decide to make orange juice with the lemons, what the hell, man? like, you're essentially, it's not even a flex, it's not even like, there's backup plans, but then you miss a Stone Edge like that, and then you just put yourself in the position where Sweet D was, where the victory was clear, and then you've lost it to RNG. The difference is, I Am Groot needed to hit that, or didn't need to hit it. He still was in a comfortable position, but he would have finished it faster. Whereas Golden State Greninja's hacks was like, you put yourself in that position to lose from that hacks. I Am Groot was not dead once Superior was gone. Yeah, it was unfortunate, but he wasn't necessarily out of the game as we saw him win Game 4. So, game number 5. This is it. This is it. This is the closest, I think. Gamma, did you call a 3-2 for this series? I think you called a 3-2 for this series, which is like, I don't know, man. I still think World Leader can pull it back. I think you take the full 5 minutes, you step away from the computer, you breathe a few deep breaths, reset your mentality. You know the win condition. If we see a new Pokemon come out in Game 5, it's fate, right? Either you have something that is so ready to go, but I think these two have finally found, just based on the back and forth, but arguably Game 3 and 4, Iron Groot's just been abusing the mistakes of World Leader. Despite hacks going against him, right? We shouldn't be here right now, but Game 2 says we are, and Game 5 means it's soon. But you gotta go back. Think about the win conditions. What takes what? Why would I save this Pokemon? Because that's where kill trading really matters in Pokemon. Why is this Pokemon staying alive? What does it offer me? In that game, it's a big definition of when you don't do it correctly and you keep Pokemon that you think is going to get stuff done, that's what ends up happening. And then you have to start talking about RNG, and we don't want to talk about RNG at the Pro Pokeball because, I mean, it's Pokemon. Chat, hold hands. It's time. Is this the reverse sweep for I Am Groot? Or is Golden State Greninjas taking themselves not only to their first playoffs appearance, but to the semifinals? Did I put game number 5 in? I did. It's time. Let's get into the game. I Am Groot pulling it back, looking for the reverse sweep. Drampa says hello. This is a switch. This is the Game 5 answer that Golden State's coming in with. Let's have a good match, ladies and gentlemen. It's time. Everything is stable here. Now, here's the thing that Drampa can do. It does have that special attacking side. This might be carrying the Surf to handle the Steelix, but the thing is, you gotta remember, even if you're Assault Vest, Terrakion and Entei are still a threat. Yes, you can tank the fire moves. It's an extra Pokemon to take the fire moves with. But here's the thing about that extra part. You see Flygon's missing? Flygon was another Pokemon to take it. Yes, it didn't want to get burned, but Drampa is basically going to be that bulkier option. So you've lost speed in exchange for taking hits. Empoleon v Honchkrow, this is actually, you know, you got to worry about superpower still. Could get the burn on the Honchkrow early, and that could be a big game changer, but we haven't seen Defog yet, unless Defog's hiding out on the Honchkrow or the Swellow. But nonetheless, if you do get burned, I don't think you'd either risk this as I Am Groot. I think you go Empoleon right away. Empoleon is the free switch in for it, and here's the thing. You might see the Pokemon that might come in and take the hits, which would be Aerodactyl. But do you really want to risk getting hit on that Pokemon? Because, like, here's the thing. This Honchkrow lead is actually pretty genius because... Actually, you know, I think the Honchkrow lead is less genius than the Empoleon lead. I think the Empoleon lead gives him a free hit here. It does. What's he going to opt for? The move he goes for is the Toxic. Still expecting that Superior to get Toxic, but again, that's damage you don't care about, right? This Toxic is not going to do anything to any Pokemon on the side of I Am Groot. He's all offensive. If Superior switches in, yeah, you might hit the Toxic on it, but then it just starts going for Leaf Storm. By that time, it doesn't matter how much defense investment. You can put defense investment on Drampa, but the fact you're going to lose a Pokemon or two to the setup and take damage you don't need to take. I kind of liked it when World Leader led more aggressively, but now he's in this position. He knows it's -1. He knows he will 65%. He could vary 33% of 65. He could potentially, on a very low roll, live another superpower, but I don't think it's worth it here. I think Honchkrow might switch, or we might just see Honchkrow go for a hit, try and go for the kill. He doesn't lose anything, right? Drampa can't come in. It'd have to be the Electros. The Electros was pretty important against Honchkrow, so at -1 might feel a little bit better here. You want to go for the switching, got to worry about it. You can still spam Flamethrower with the Electros as well, at the very least. So a -1 hit might be his best bet here. Murray, once again, thank you very much for that resubscription. I'm pretty sure that happened before, but 24 months to 2 years, you are a masterful individual. The Superior comes in on the Electros. Okay, here we go. Electros did a lot of damage with Flamethrower. Most likely could take one Leaf Storm. I don't think Groot risks this, or if he does, he could win this with the risk, because that'll be a +4 by the time Drampa comes in, and unless this thing takes a bunch of damage, nah, he's not going to risk. It doesn't make sense. Entei doubles. Flamethrower will happen. You can't risk it as Golden State. You have to roast it. That is his win condition. We can even see a triple switch here, to be dead honest with you. Might go back into it, maybe expecting Electros to try and switch. Because what switches in now? We might see that Infernape once again sacked off. Maybe we see the Empoleon come in. He's going to instead stay in. The critical brings it down. No extra damage. And that's, if you're an I Am Groot fan, that's the hacks you need to see in Game 5. Because that actually is enormous. No Volt Switch, no extra damage on the Entei. And that's actually a really horrible position to be in. He could have saved this for later, maybe for just sacking it off in another different time. Trying to get the advantage, get the Aerodactyl in after tanking it, going for Volt Switch, but now the Infernape has to come in and answer. We know it can. We know it outspeeds. Oh, no. And the thing about Game 5 with the amount of pressure that's put down, I don't mean to instill so much pressure in this commentary, but, like, mind games really do matter here. The Steelix is going to be the one coming in, knowing that Stone Edge is going to happen. So it can tank it up, knows it'll threaten with the Gyro Ball, with the Stone Edge, with the Ice Fang. Nothing wants to take this hit. Empoleon might just be sacked here. Although, here's the thing, you can't risk it either because he's going to go for the Overheat instead, reveals his fire move, and that's going to roast the Mega Steelix. Never mind, Game 5 still has surprises, as that's gone, and that's the sweep that he can do with the physical Pokemon now. That's a defensive on down. It is nothing but offense. Drampa versus the world in terms of defense, but it is 5-on-5, pure damage, pure switching. Things need to start trading, but that's what you need to see if you're a Greninjas fan. Terrakion comes in to answer. But that's something maybe he didn't see or maybe he wanted to see. Getting his free switch in is not the worst thing in the world because he can go back on the offense. Do we see Empoleon sacked? I'm waiting for the Empoleon explosion. I don't know what to expect off this thing. He keeps it safe for so long, but I mean, it didn't make sense to bring it at any time until now anyways. Scarfs for days puts a lot of pressure on your team, knowing that you relied on really fast sweepers. And we said this before about Golden State Greninjas. That Aerodactyl was the linchpin, was the Pokemon to support the rest of the Pokemon. Carries the coverage and cleans up in the late game once you've done a lot of damage with your other Pokemon. The way you counter that is Choice Scarf. Choice Scarf just outspeed it, having the moves that will crush it in one shot, whether it's stab or not, or whether it's super effective, stab or not. Aerodactyl is not the bulkiest Pokemon, so it's going to be going on quickly. We do see that double switch into the Entei, though. What are we going to see instead? The Empoleon did come in. So, Entei being in is great, because that means now Bulu doesn't have to switch in, but I think Groot expected the Bulu switch in to come in on the close combat, knowing close combat would do it. It is just going to be the sack. I actually like this from Golden State, knowing now that he can come in on the offense against the Entei, and with Steelix being gone, nothing like Stone Edge, so this is a great play here for Aerodactyl to come in. This is great, man. That overheat could turn this entire thing. Boss, thank you much for that bit, man. Appreciate it. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Tracheon has to come in and take the hit. What do we see? The Stone Edge will happen. It's still an okay amount of damage. Remember, the Infernape is alive, so Mach Punch is also alive. Damage on this is important. Well, let's see if we might see another double switch here to try and get the Bulu off with the Entei. Because if you keep tricking them like this, Pokemon have to keep taking damage. So Groot might just be trying to bait Golden State into that situation where Entei keeps getting the value. Because it's the same thing what we saw with Game 1 and 2, where Bulu was just constantly looking for value. Entei can do the same against this team. The Drampa is going to be used as a Stone Edge is used. Oh, that's too much damage for him to take two of them. But that is going to be Drampa most likely saying goodbye. Like we said, it's going to be kill for kill. Death for death. They're both trying to be on the front foot. Doesn't miss, so no Surf coming out from the Drampa. 5-3, but it's not completely over yet. We still have the three most offensive Pokemon on the side of Golden State. He's got the speed. He's got the answers. He's going to come in. I don't think Mach Punch kills from this range, though. I can't remember how much it did before. This is important information. Where's Terrakion and where is Infernape? Infernape damage coming in. Ooh. If he does this, he is looking for the absolute highest roll to get the kill. It's a big spread. Oh, man. He's been brought to this point, but I think the Bulu, he might just be trying to... He knows that it's Stone Edge, so Bulu cannot come in. Even though... He could have threatened, but I think maybe if he brings in Bulu at that point, he could take the damage. He would heal it up, and then we just see Entei switch in on the move. But Bulu might have been the better switch there, just to try and force him on this, because he is not in the position. He is looking for the absolute max damage on Mach Punch. If he's going to show that he has Fake Out on this moveset, we've seen Mach Punch. No, he can't show. He has Stone Edge. We've seen the whole moveset, so yeah, he's relying on it if he decides to do this. Groot's thinking about it. He wants to do the damage calcs himself and see what's going on. If he knows what the Infernape's looking for. The Swellow is going to be used. Doesn't want to risk it. The Mach Punch. The Mach Punch? The Mach Punch comes in. As we see, it's not enough damage, but luckily Infernape does live. We don't have to worry about that pressure. Gamma, thanks for that bit, man. Appreciate it. Another bit. Another bit. Oh, man. Like, it's playing on inches, and he's going to go for it. He's not going to get the kill. And with that gone, that is Specs. Swellow. Oh, no, he's giving it up. He's relying on pure speed. He's relying on Bulu to be able to take this on. It's 5-on-2. Yes, Aerodactyl makes its way in. He wanted the crit, and it's down to this. Can he find his way? Can he navigate? I think the answer might be no for Golden State. There's not enough switching and not enough bulk to take the hits. Boo, sure as that fall. He goes for the Iron Tail! He doesn't go for the guaranteed hit! Now, he is still safe from stock Leaf Storm, but he goes for the Iron Tail instead of the Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace hits everything for neutral and does a lot of damage, predicting the Terrakion, but that's something to look at. But the thing is, he doesn't outspeed Terrakion. Terrakion doesn't need to come in. World Leader's playing himself right now. Roost comes in. Okay. That is interesting. Okay, so here's the fun thing about this. He can keep roosting until I Am Groot switches. How many things does Boomburst have? Ah, he could have kept... Oh, he actually could have kept roosting. That would have been very interesting because Aerodactyl gets value on everything except Terrakion. But now Terrakion comes in, knows he can go for Stone Edge, and I think that's game. I think that's just it. He has to hope on a loss here. Diego does not have a fairy type. Thanks for the 4 more bits, boss. Appreciate that. Yes, you should be sending in Pokepastes, Tyler. Groot's taking his time. I think it's just the Terrakion. You go into Terrakion. Thanks for the 6 big scam. I appreciate that. Yeah, Terrakion just goes for Stone Edge, and that's basically game. Because you have to be able to take the hits and go from there. Oh, no. Oh, man. It's not over. Misses can happen. It is I Am Groot, the man who's been hacked the most this entire season. Bulu has to make his way in. Ironhead exists. I forgot about that. Close combat will do a decent amount in case he didn't want to risk it. I mean, Ironhead could have actually been used there too by I Am Groot, knowing that he's most likely not dying anything. He has so many Pokemon to clean up in the end here. But Bulu does get to use Horn Leech. But if it's against Superior or Honchkrow, or even Entei, oh my god, it's going to come down to what he goes for. Well, Tyler, you put your Pokepaste in the same place as usual. Yep, Superior comes in, the Stone Edge comes out, no crit. Crit would have killed there, but it didn't happen. As now Serp comes in, starts to do more damage, bring it into range, maybe kill it off with the Close Combat or the Iron Head. And that should be it. The damage will come through unless he misses a Leaf Storm. He doesn't. The damage is clean. Do we see a Horn Leech to try and heal? No. And that's going to be the Iron Head coming out. Ladies and gentlemen, in a reverse sweep fashion, I Am Groot takes it in game number 5. There's no hacks to be left. Everything is 100% accurate. And he'll be making his way on to the semifinals against Fortnite Ninjas, a repeat of what was disastrous for him in the regular season in week 7. Thanks for the 10 bits, boss. I appreciate it. I believe it. Yep. Just even goes for close combat. Gets the crit to rub salt in the wound. And I Am Groot barely holding on, but one could say barely holding on is tough to argue when I think Golden State has no gas in the tank. And that's going to be a 3-2 going over to Groot. GG's to both in chat. What a phenomenal series for both of them to play out. At the end of the day, I think the experience gets the better of Golden State Greninjas. But what a showing from World Leader here, taking the first 2 games, using every single resource in his toolbox, and putting on a really good show. Played out really well. And I think we saw a difference in experience here mattering, because you know, it really came down to who had the mental fortitude throughout all 5 games, and I think Sweet D just brings that forward. But a very fantastic showing from Golden State Greninjas. They will be exiting the tournament at this point. But we do get that repeat of I Am Groot versus Fortnite Ninjas, and if you remember what that looked like in Week 7, we'll have to see if it's going to look the same way going into the semifinals next Wednesday. That was an incredible series, World Leader. GG. We're going to take a big break. When we come back, it will be our second best of 5 of the night to see who's going to be going on to the semifinals themselves between Manchester Benetric and Lunar Cresselias. Do not go anywhere because we have ads. See you soon, guys. GG, boys. Phenomenal. Hello everyone, welcome back to the ProPokeBowl Season 5 Playoff, where we're going to get a second match between Golden State Greninja, or Lunar Castellius, and Manchester United. I'm hungry, okay? I just want to eat my pumpkin thing in peace. It's pumpkin and zucchini. It's really tasty. Alright? Can we really fault me for this? That's not fried chicken. It's pumpkin zucchini. It's like a pumpkin zucchini. My nonna makes it. It's like a pumpkin zucchini filled thing. It's very, very consistent. It's lovely. It's not even oppressively pumpkin, which is very nice about it. By the way, just to check with everybody, how is the audio tonight? Gamma helped me fix the mic. Thanks God to a man who knows audio things and knows that Windows sucks. Audio's perfect. Awesome. Okay, I tried to balance out. I actually took the opportunity to balance out some more settings, so. Well, I know, week 10, basically what happened was, when we did the reset on my computer because it broke, it apparently reverts all of your mic settings, so my mic was down 39% more than it was supposed to be in general. And I heard it, and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense, because everything's turned to the max. Excuse me. Yeah, it was a Windows problem. But that's not our thing right now. We're not a tech stream. We keep saying that. Last time these two met, Manchester Manectric, Coach Ivan, dispatched of Lunar Castellius super easily, but not in a way that you would expect in terms of offensively. It was defensively we saw this absolute destruction. The Alomomola, Togekiss stack attack, the Roselia, proved too much for Lunar Castellius to break through. Coach Tyler making a new team as he comes into the playoffs over time here, investing into 4 new Pokemon, including the one during the playoffs. Spiritomb coming in for the Hitmonchan. The more we talked about it on the podcast, the more we got confused as to why this thing was switched out. Cryogonal is a spinner now, and Cryogonal hasn't had the greatest season, considering that a lot of Pokemon just hit it either on the physical side, or we've even noticed even on the special side, it's just not doing it. So, what are the conditions here? Really, for Man, we just expect him to bring out. He doesn't have a Alomomola for the series, and the Pidgeot is not there for Lunar Castellius. I expect a Nidoqueen. I expect some kind of triple defensive core. I forgot actually that Roselia is also on this team, and the Arcanine. So he still has options even though he has lost his Alomomola. But what makes it interesting to me is, with the Alomomola being the main problem for Lunar Castellius, you have to ask yourself, does he have enough damage now for him to make it work? Because yes, Manectric destroys Manectric, but you have this Meloetta, you have this Jirachi, the Pidgeot. He has the Manectric, which will still destroy the Togekiss, but now you've got the Jirachi, which can handle the defensive core. We've got a Meloetta that can handle the defensive core. I'm thinking Spiritomb will go defensive if he uses this type of thing, but we talked about a team. What was the team I said? Like Sylveon, Seismitoad, Pidgeot, Incineroar, Jirachi, and Meloetta or something like that. I can't remember the exact 6 I proposed on the ProPoke podcast episode, but if he brings a good turning team, that's how you catch Manchester Manectric off guard. His defense is only as good as the matchup he puts it into, so if he keeps switching well, but you can put some hazards up, even just rocks, stacking up the rocks. He's got the Miltank, he's got the Tyrantrum, right? He's got the Jirachi to put up the rocks if he wants to use that, but if he can get that advantage and go from there, I think he's in a good spot. I want to see Scarf Jirachi. I actually think Scarf Jirachi makes a lot of sense here. It can outspeed the Manectric and go just for U-turn on it nonstop. Ironhead gets a lot of value here on the Kyurem Black, which is released, the Stack Attack, and the Nidoqueen. All these Pokemon that you could be fearing are going to be going from there. On the side of Manchester Manectric, the Zygarde 10%, the Absol, the Nidoqueen. These Pokemon are going to be incredibly important for him to be able to manage and deal a bunch of damage before Lunar Castellius might find their offensive groove. Because that's what stopped them before, is Lunar Castellius cannot get in and do enough damage. And if I remember, Game 1 went close, but Game 2 was just like, he tried to switch it up, and that's when I think he had the Scarfed Escadrille, and we're looking at this going, that's when he had a Alomomola. But when you ban on the defensive side, very similarly to the other series we've watched with Iron Groot versus Golden State Greninjas, when you ban defensively, that means that you are looking to break through fast, and you know that the defensive core is going to make you nervous. So, the further we get into this, the more we're gonna have to try and appreciate what is happening with Man and what's happening with his team. Because if you can tank it up, that's what's going to matter. And we've got the battles in here. Let me just reset everything here. Oh my goodness. This is going to be interesting. This is one where I actually called an extremely one-sided match. I think Gamma was on the same page with me, although we both believe it can go to a 3-1 in favor of Manchester Manectric. Let's take a look at the fan votes, and that is also a very one-sided fan vote, but I'm not going to say for who. That's the mystery. Here we go. Let's get ourselves into this. Manchester Manectric versus Lunar Crescelius, who will be going on to the semifinals to challenge the Titan, the first seed, Traverse City Thunderous. Let's get into it. Wrong music, not enough hype. DJ. Let's go. Game 1 between Manchester Manectric on your close side, Lunar Crescelius on your far side. Let's take a look at the team. That's a Manectric, that's a Meloetta. We got most of the Pokemon that we pretty much expected. That Cryogo's got to get rid of the hazards. And we see the return of the Roselia. And believe it or not, this is an offensive positioning here from Manchester. Basically seeing that if he goes as hard as he can and just try and take out Lunar Crescelius with the new Pokemon he's gotten, this might work. Galvantula can handle the Meloetta, as it is a speed tie, I believe, and can handle the Shaman. You've got Roselia, which actually handles Seismitoad quite well. Absol will finish off the Cryogonal and the Jirachi, and then you got Kyurem Black, which we were a little scared of, because I think Jirachi with max speed outspeeds a max speed Kyurem Black. So I'm curious to see what's going to be coming out of this. Nonetheless, Jirachi versus Galvantula lead in this fresh new series. Remember, after this, ladies and gentlemen, we forgot to mention, after this, Amagama will be shaving his beard for Extra Life. He'll be fulfilling that milestone incentive. Thank you to everybody who's been giving it Extra Life thus far. If you want to continue to contribute, as we have multiple events still to come up, make sure you go to that link, click the big green button, and give for the kids towards Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto, Canada. Sticky Web will be laid as the U-turn is revealed. Okay, so we don't see a Scarf Jirachi, but there's the U-turn. This is what Lunar Crescelius is going to predicate themselves on. If that is Focus Sash, it is gone for game number 1. But the Sticky Web coming in is interesting because Cryogonal can come in, not get slowed down, tank a special hit, and go for Rapid Spin. And that's a good read here from Lunar Crescelius. Actually, kind of interesting that Man just I'm going to keep calling that. I'm surprised that Manectric did not try. I can't say Manectric because he's got a friggin' Manectric on Lunar Crescelius' side. Manchester should have kind of seen that coming, and now you've put your Galvantula in a bad position, considering that this thing's running max special defense. I don't actually remember what you necessarily run on Cryogonal in terms of defensive investment, but I'm not sure what the play here is. I think you can still go offensive, take the Rapid Spin. He doesn't have a Ghost type, but maybe use his opportunity to go into Absol, the Mega, get a free knockoff basically on the opposite team minus Manectric, but even then it's not going to be Mega, then get the Intimidate off right away. But I'm not sure here. Lunar Crescelius taking their time on the play. We could just see a Volt Switch as well come out from Galvantula if it is carrying the Volt Switch. Try and get some kind of advantage, because I don't know what advantage he takes. Cryogonal actually does a decent amount of damage to half of Manchester's team, and it will indeed be the Volt Switch. So maybe a Kyurem Black comes in, maybe an Absol comes in. I don't know. It will be the Absol, so he does just want to get the free Mega up here, as the Rapid Spin will be used. Sick crit from the Rapid Spin. Only player in this playoffs, I believe, using a spinner rather than a defog user, so... And the only one who I believe has only been using spinners rather than defog users, which is definitely a different skill. It shouldn't be as difficult, but when you're getting used to the game and maybe you've played a lot in the past where you're used to spinning, and when defog comes into the mix of being really good with getting rid of hazards, it can be a bit to adjust with. I know that oftentimes I blow away my own hazards or use defog at the wrong time. So if spin is comfortable and you know there's not a lot of ghost types to worry about, then it's still very effective. Our question is, will Cryogonal be able to carry it all the way through to the championship? So far, it's 1 for 1 on the spin. I think it's as much value as you could expect from Lunar Crescelius. Now, Absol will Mega up. It will probably just go for the knockoff, get the max value. Manchester actually taking their time to think about this. But not much can switch in on this. That's the big deal, is Absol could do a bunch of damage and just get tons of value. He can even just go for a straight superpower if he is carrying it on the Absol and just kind of just say, I don't care about the value per se. I'm just going to get damage and check to see how you're going to play this out. As I eat my pumpkin zucchini thing. Pumpkin zucchini thing. Frisbee knockoff barely misses the kill, and the Ice Beam comes through. A Frisbee huge. It doesn't happen. But that's a big deal, not getting that kill. We'll have to check the damage calcs on that later. But, yeah, that's a big one. Taking a look at knockoff, 73 to 86. So, yes, was not going to get the kill either way. I think he was at 88%, right? How much did you take? 81? Oh, could have gotten the kill with the Super Max roll, but doesn't get the kill nonetheless. We're on the higher end here. A couple things that happen. Sideshow does come in as a knockoff does go through, gets rid of the leftovers, and now the Roselia will make its way in. We expected Roselia to come in. Giga Drain's going to put, like, basically kill pressure on the Sideshow. But Shaman exists. Cryogonal exists. Actually, Cryogonal could even come in and force a recover. Actually, no, sorry. It's at 4%. What am I saying? Haha! Yeah, it's got to be Shaman. Or Jirachi, if it's carrying Wish. The double, though, back to the beginning of this match, as once again, Jirachi coming in. Now, U-turn is still going to be the best value here no matter what. He could even try and go for any other move he might be carrying on Jirachi. I feel like this is going to be a Wish passer since we haven't seen Sylveon since the Jirachi has joined the team. I'm fairly certain this is going to be the Wish set. But this could be important because the Bug Buzz does come through. It doesn't do a lot, and if Wish comes out, this is when U-turn's going to happen. And since he's slower than the Galvantula, he might just pass the U-turn off to the Cryogonal, get back in here, prevent any Sticky Web, and get the kill on Galvan. So, man, these Pokemon need short forms. Many of them. I can't call Dragonite Drag. I can't call him Knight, because you'd be like, what the heck's a Knight? But, you mean Fortnite noob? Anyways. But yeah, he's going to get massive value. Even if Jirachi stays in, he takes the Wish, and he's going to win the trade in damage. So, Lunar Cresselia is down to 120 seconds already. Game number 1, taking their time. It's curious because I want to say that you just go U-turn and heal the Cryogonal. Has Cryogonal done its job? Because here's the other thing too. If you don't go for the attack from Manchester here, then you're going to worry about it. You could also go into Seismitoad, heal that up, and then kill off Galvantula. Or basically say you either have to have Energy Ball, and I'll know that for the rest of the game, or you go into Manectric, tank the grass. Well, you don't want to take the... I mean, you'll take the... Anyways, Energy Ball is used, but he's not faster as Ironhead. That's max value for Cresselia's. Manchester not realizing that it might not just be... He predicts a hard switch, but there's no reason for him to hard switch because Jirachi tanks the hits, so a bit of a misplay there for Manchester, as now he's lost all pressure, considering the Jirachi gets max health, and Galvantula's brought it down to die in... I mean, he was going to die either way, but he doesn't even get Sticky Web off here without Cryogonal being out. Does he just say Sticky Web, force the Cryogonal in without a heal? The answer might be yes, because then at least Galvantula... I mean, no matter what, I think he goes for Wish this turn on Jirachi. Galvantula goes for Sticky Web, but then even if he goes for damage on Jirachi, if he goes for the U-turn, he get the free U-turn on the Cryogonal, and then the Wish will happen. He gets in, he could go for Spin, but then maybe he's going to try and put offensive pressure down, so maybe that doesn't work very well. Either way, not the way you expected it to go, but Jirachi feeling healthy. Lunar Cresselia is holding their own here. Oh, dear. Manchester dipping into their pool a bit. It's just going to opt for the damage. Says, yeah, if you're going to go for Wish, I'm going to make sure you leave a dent in this shooting star. Goes for it again, and Jirachi stays in. Okay, so this is actually a kind of a big deal, because now the Cryogonal does get healed, but the nice thing for Manchester Manectric is the Jirachi is hurt, so it might have been worth it there. Good quality, this is so accurate. Oh my, aw, you beat me to it. Darn. So this is pretty good value here. I actually like the double Bug Buzz, considering that it does mean the Jirachi will be hurt, which makes it easier for Manchester to just deal more damage, because Cryogonal isn't still going to tank up the best amount of hits, considering that Zygarde 10% and the Kyurem Black is in there. I think if the other turn went differently, I say you stay in there, kill with Jirachi, keep the Jirachi healthy, because Cryogonal does its job by spinning the Sticky Web before, but now that Cryogonal comes back in, there are no hazards to worry about, so I actually think that Manchester made the best out of that situation. Lunar might have actually given up a bit of momentum here, having that much damage left on the Jirachi. So, I don't know about that. Seismitoad will make its way in. Knockoff happens. Of course, the item's already knocked off, so that'll take about half the damage. Or, you know, just normal damage. Superpower can't come in. Doesn't get the kill. This could be a dead Absol if we see it. And it is. One dog down. The alpha dog left for Manchester, where we got Super Mountain Dog on the other side. It's Scarfy versus Mountain Peak. In terms of the dog v dog, it's a dog fight if you want to call it that, but that's a bad joke. Roselia will now come in, fight everything you want. I think Saizotoad is sacked here, unless he opts to go into Jirachi to try and make the best out of this by going for Wish and healing it up now, because Roselia would be carrying like Sludge Bomb and Giga Drain. It might carry HP Fire, but I don't think it's gonna be good enough to do damage to this Jirachi in time. Because we'll also get outsped, and if you get a flinch, it wouldn't be that great. Cryogonal's going to make its way in, as spikes do come through. Okay, this is great, because he can go for Ice Beam, he can also go for Spin if the hazards get out of jam here. He's just going to go for the Sludge Bomb and try and opt to get the damage down. And this healing is actually suddenly important. He's got the Pokemon to answer this. We thought we did before, but that is a dead Roselia. And once again, our expectations are flipped, but Lunar has found the way in. You could say in the very beginning there, with that leadoff, with the Galvantula not getting the max value against that, and got the Absol in, but didn't get the kill. Zygarde will make its way in now. It could go for the 1,000 arrows and kill off the Cryogonal, making that one layer of spike stick. But will that be enough is the real question. Because you gotta ask, I'm pretty sure HP Ice is gonna be on that Mega Man, and if this thing is not set up correctly on Zygarde 10, it's not going to have the speed to live, and it's going to be taking a lot of damage back. Now, I don't... yeah, it should kill. It's times 4 weak. Shout outs to Sai Hayes Zygarde. 60 seconds on the clock for Lunar Cresselia. 120 seconds for Manchester. Both of them taking their time here, and this is okay. This could be important because the other thing that you could be doing during Game 1 is just scouting to see how your opponent's playing, especially knowing that Manchester and Manectric were so ahead in Game 1 for them. Remember, Game 1 was very close and Manchester eked it out, but Game 2 looked a lot better for Manchester. So if he's scouting now and checking to see how much damage he needs and how much bulk he might have to bring next time, it could go down to that. Lunar Cresselia is at the 30-second mark, though. Have to start making the plays. The problem with losing your time so much is you have to make the plays really quickly to gain it back. As now, here we go. It's down to quick plays. Lunar Cresselia has to pay attention to the time. He's not making the plays here. He's going to start dipping in. 20 seconds left on the clock. You don't want to drop an advantage like this. Lunar Cresselia is going to make the play. 15 seconds happening. Don't pull it, man. We don't want to see this happen again. He's taking too long. 10 seconds on the clock. He's got to make a play. 5 seconds. This thing can break. He's going to lose the time. He's taking too much time. And he's going to time out. Oh, not again! As Lunar not paying attention to the clock and takes too long to make the play. And Ivan is gonna be quite lucky with that particular win. Oh, no. Now, depending on what happened, because I don't see him leaving the battle or talking, even if he disconnected, we have to give the win to Manchester Manectric, considering we are in the game, we've already started. So once turn 1 passes, we have to leave it like that. Yeah, no matter what, we have to give that the win because it's already started. We can't go any further than that. We will give him some time, though. See if his internet does come back, but... Man, that would have been one to watch because that was very interesting to see that Lunar Cresselia had the advantage. And they were in a good position. The healing on the Cryogonal suddenly pays off. He gets to spin away, he gets the pressure down the Roselia, gets to spin away the spikes at the same position. The Absol not having enough damage to kill the Cryogonal. Very well played by Lunar Cresselia. It's a very unfortunate drop there for him. No matter what happened, we can't control that. But it's a best of 5. So that means he could do it again. But here's your thing. Ivan knows how to play his 12 out really well. We'll have to see what happens. He hasn't answered me yet. Let me check. He is online. So everything is there, but I guess he did time out. And that's kind of, you know, it's something that when you're not paying attention to it, it does mean that, like, you have to pay attention to the clock, because it's not ticking on the screen. So it is a skill to keep looking at the, like, when you're trying to think things through, you do need to look at the log, because the log also gives you all the information on damage calcs. We don't block out damage calcs, right? We let it all roll through. We don't play it off of bars. We play it off of percentages. Percentages just makes it easy for the information you should be allowed to see. That's why I like Showdown quite a bit. Bars are okay, but knowing the skill between 44 and 45% when it matters is kind of silly. I like to see it be a little more structured than that, in my opinion. But nonetheless, what do we like well about this? Lunar Cresselia's, very good read, very good bring. I like the Jirachi. Right away, we see the Jirachi with the U-turn, handling the Galvantula, tanking up the really good hits. That is actually going to be important, because I think that might mean it's especially defensive. To note, Mega Absol against Cryogonal with an items, knockoff to 73 to 86.8%. So it was going to be barely off the kill no matter what. Superpower was the play to go for there. And having all of that go the wrong way for Ivan was a bit of conceding the advantage, or trying to concede and not take any advantage, because in the beginning, you might have a neutral lead, which they both kind of did. Sticky Web versus the U-turner, break the sash, potentially. But the other thing we wanted to look at is, well, if he's not doing a lot of damage, can Lunar Cresselia's abuse this? And they could have, but then turn 16 happened. So game number 2 just means he has to come back and do it. Oh, no, not again. There's too many people in this chat who have experienced drinks on their keyboards. I don't want to tilt all of them, nor will I mention any of them. They can mention themselves if they want. Okay, let's take a look here. Is he still... I don't see him in the chat either. He is in a second match, though. Okay, so yeah. Probably just an earnest disconnect, or probably just an earnest timeout. But they are into game number 2. There's not really much to talk about, but let's keep in mind that when we're moving over to game number 2, what is the important thing for Ivan to do? Ivan needs to maintain offensive momentum, and that means if he's going to be doing the damage, he needs to get over to it. He needs to do it faster than what we saw. What do we got here? Yeah, okay, that works. But nonetheless, let's get into game number 2. Oops. This music. There we go. Game number 2 is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. Manchester Manectric up 1-0. We do see a slight switch. The Incineroar coming in to complete that U-turn trifecta. Or that Volt-turn trifecta, I should say, rather. That is going to be replacing... What am I missing here? What did I miss from game 1? I feel silly. What did he replace? I completely forgot. Nonetheless, the Cryogonal is going to lead against the Zygarde 10%. I like this, although, interestingly enough, this does, like, you can go for damage on Cryogonal, but you don't want to lose your, no, especially seeing Ice Beam and not Freeze Dry. I don't think there's a damage difference between the two, but having these two facing each other kind of favors Lunar Cresselia, so you don't want to take that chance of dying, and most likely it is going to die, because Cryogonal does have special attack. And guess what? Ice Beam is a special attack. Kieran Black will be rolling out, though, to tank all the hits. We'll get an idea maybe of what we're seeing here. Good Toxic by Lunar Cresselia, knowing that the Zygarde 10% is not going to stay in, because the Nidoqueen wasn't going to make its way in. The Absol is also not Mega'd yet, so it won't have the magic bounce ability. But this is good. This is actually probably the best Pokemon you could have done on, because it doesn't get value on anybody but Kieran Black. So just reading that is either a really good prediction by Lunar Cresselia's, or maybe a bit of a sloppy switch here from Kieran Black, or from Manchester, because yes, the Kieran Black will punch this thing's clock out, but does he need to? Well, nonetheless, he's gonna make it happen. He actually goes for Earth Power on the Cryogonal. That's a play. Maybe expecting Jirachi to come in against an Outrage or another physical attack, but luckily for him, the Cryogonal switched out, otherwise he looked a little silly, but nonetheless, Cytostow takes that hit very, very, very well. As a Z-move is revealed early, Sub-Zero Slammer. That is an Icium Z on your Kieran Black, see? And that means he's going to make it a 6-5 free. Shoutouts to Mammothswine doing the exact same thing. So that's a lot of damage. That's very good to know. It's not a Scarf Kyurem. It's not carrying Life Orb. It's not going to be carrying Leftovers. It is Icium Z on the Kieran Black. And that's going to score him a kill pretty quickly when the Pokemon are not going to be resisting that, because that's a lot of damage. That could be Freeze Shock. That could be Freeze Shock Z move. I don't think it's Ice Beam. because you saw the damage that Earth Power did. I don't think on the special side that would have killed if it was Ice Beam. So nonetheless, Incineroar comes in, says I can tank it up. It's most likely Assault Vest. He's been running non-stop with the Incineroar. Tank the hit up, put the kill pressure down on it. It would have to be Flare Blitz, or maybe he runs Drain Punch. Most likely Drain Punch, but yeah, he tanks it. No damage whatsoever, and that's a lot of damage heal off. Basically saying, what did you actually do to me, Kieran Black? And gets a free kill. This is unconventional from Manchester. 3rd seed coming into the playoffs. Not looking too hot right now. Yes, he usually works off of having a lot of information, but this is a pre-planned thing. You have your team. This is not the finals. This is not the semis where you're stuck with a team of 12. You've been walking through the whole thing. This is one specifically prepared for Lunar Cresselias and just missing all that information right now. Zygarde 10 can come in. Gotta be careful because this thing might still be able to take the hit barely. 96%, I'm not convinced 1,000 Arrows kills. I think you stay in and just go for knockoff. But even then, do you need this thing? Ah, it does kill. Never mind. Okay, I thought it would just, like, barely live, but maybe with the Intimidate, that would look a little different. Good to note. Nonetheless, Manectric can now come in now. Manectric against the Manectric. Dogs face off, but Mega Man will win this out on the day. HP Ice should be a one-shot. I don't expect... yeah, I do expect the Nidoqueen to come in and tank up everything. As the Intimidate comes down, it doesn't do anything. But the Roar! What? That's actually a dog, but that's going to switch him into the Roselia, and you have to be worried about Flamethrower, and he's going to say, whatever, it's Flamethrower, not Overheat, I can go for the spikes. Your Cryogle's not out, but I don't think those spikes get any value. Yeah, the Nidoqueen can come back in. Volt Switch will be absorbed. Good play by Manchester. I'm kind of curious, though, to see if those spikes get anything done, because Cryogonal is a specially defensive Pokemon. So if it's specially defensive, it tanks the hits for Nidoqueen, goes for spin, and yeah, you get damage, but he can also recover. He can stall you out until you make a move. Shaman coming in on Poison type's not the greatest idea, and Sludge Bomb's going to one-shot it. Interesting switch there when you have Jirachi, but I guess he's worried about Earth Power coming through. Fantastic move there from Manchester, knowing that it would only be Jirachi that'd be neutralizing it, and Jirachi's not going to stay in front of Earth Power either. So, well played. I like it. Roselia now will come back in. U-turn's going to happen, though. Well played by Jirachi, as we're going to see Cryogonal come in and force the switch. Most likely going to see a Rapid Spin coming out, as we might see Absol have to answer for the Ice Beam. Because really, well, actually, you know what? Galvantula hasn't even been used, and that could answer too. But Absol threatens on the physical side with Superpower, so... what is going to be happening here? Ice Beam will take out Roselia, but I think this is okay. Now Absol has to come in. Nothing else can really come in here. Like, it's a waste on Galvantula because that means the spin is free. If you put pressure down, it's 4-3. You're in a pretty good position here if you're Manchester. Yeah, Absol will come in. We'll just go for Superpower. It'll hit everything neutrally, do as much damage as he possibly can, and then I think he can start rotating and start taking game number 2. That switch with the Shaman was very bizarre, though. Thinking that, yes, Earth Power could be a thing, but Cryogonal takes all of those hits really well anyways. Earth Power is completely neutralized because of Levitate from the Cryogonal. Sludge Wave, not doing a lot, plus you can recover and threaten with Ice Beam, even if it is Assault. If it's Assault Vest, it's not going to be doing the damage. So, you tank those hits up very well. I think it's a bit of a misplay there, because that Shaman would be kind of important just to have another Pokemon to come in and threaten with a lot of damage. Seed Flare does a lot for him here on the off chance that something has to be sacked and then comes in free against the Absol. The double into an Absol, though! What if it's knockoff, my friend? It's gone! Oh, no. Oh, man. I think Manectric had to happen there no matter what. You got to get the attack drop down because you ran out of options to tank anything. As now he goes for the Flamethrower, predicting maybe the Galvantula, but now it's looking pretty over, and this could be an easy 2-0 so far for Manchester. There's the damage that you want to know if you are Tyler Poke, because that means next time you're not making that same mistake and risking the Shaman on the Earth Power, because you got the Levitate, you got the Special Defense. Is there a way for him to come back in this? Only if Zygarde 10% doesn't get a DD up. If it doesn't go for Dragon Dance, maybe. But I think with the amount of damage that Absol can do, he's actually going to sack it here to try and get it going. He's going to go for knockoff and get the Choice Band down. Good to note for Game 3 and beyond, if it's possible for Lunar Cresselias. But that's a lot of damage he's got to tank. He is also smacked down. And that should be it. With the amount of damage on this, you can actually go into Nidoqueen, or even Mega Absol. I was going to say you can go into it. Mega Manectric is going to drop the damage, but I don't think it's going to be enough, as look how much damage is going to fly through with this. It's 38%. It's exactly enough with that spike, but the spike not being down, can't take up the hits. Nidoqueen, now that it can't go for Earth Power anymore, but it's going to have enough damage to be able to finish this off. This should be an easy cleanup for Manchester United. Game number 1 not going very well, as we did have that disconnect. Or sorry, rather that timeout. Game number 2, though, much more in control. The control that we expected from Manchester to get it done. Look at the tank. This is what happened in the regular season, as it's going to be 2-0 and match point for Manchester United. Pat to Ivan, keeping us close and keeping us on our toes, obviously. And here's the thing, we saw what happened with game number 1. Yes, it was a very unfortunate situation with that timeout. But this is what kind of scares me about game number 2. We remember, we harken back to the day where Manchester United, I gotta stop doing that. Manchester United, in game number 1 in the regular season, struggled but took the win. Then game number 2 comes around and he just completely tanks them. Manchester adapts over series of 5. So a series of 2, yeah, you might be able to get him, but he either falls way hard. Notice how long it takes, right? He's either 2-0ing or 0-2ing. So that means that the more time he gets, the more he's going to learn. You already see him adapting in game number 2. In game number 3, I expect him to have the perfect plan. I expect him to know exactly when to get the Absol in. I expect him to play off the tiny bit of tilt that we saw from Lunar Crescelius coming out. I mean, the Shaman coming in when the Jirachi could have been easy. Or, sorry, rather, the Cryogonal was super easy. The Intimidate, which can come in and at least try to soak up the damage that's going to be happening at that point. It was still bleak. But this is team composition, right? Who made the switch? It was Lunar Crescelius, and it didn't work. So switched out the he switched out the Meloetta in exchange for the Shaman. Does he go back to it? I feel like he should. No, he switched out Incineroar for Meloetta. That's what it was. That could mean he had a different plan for Meloetta. I don't know. What's gonna happen with this? Because I don't know. I really don't. I think he has just to play it out and just play it better, but at the same time, Zygarde 10% makes this tough. Then a Queen. Like, I like the Cryogonal. It's actually getting value here. I think he just has to go back and play it out again. I really don't know. Incineroar is cool, but now you know it's an Icium Z. Kyurem Black, yeah, you can tank it up. Now he might know to tank that up instead of keeping in his Seismitoad. So if he has Seismitoad and maybe he has the Incineroar, go for the Intimidate and keep it down. Maybe that's the play. Not too sure, though. Because it's a situation where it's not like World Leader, where we could talk about hacks in Game 2, we could talk about good play in Game 1, and I Am Groot having to switch up his team, and then the reverse sweep coming through, and then starting to get in your own heads. It's happening in Game number 2 now. We're going into Game number 3, down 0-2, and you're on the side of Lunar Crescelius again, non-stop talking about this team being the patchwork. Lunar Crescelius trying to find their way around this team that has not moved. Like, here's the thing. The discourse around this whole series is looks better for Manchester United every single time. Doesn't drop a single game. He either loses horribly or he wins amazingly. And he hasn't switched his team up once. So just having his solid core, making it work for him and finding its way through the metagame. And then you go to the other side of Lunar Crescelius, who's been consistently trying to fix his team up to repair some of the Pokemon that just don't do anything for him, or try and find new Pokemon that could be more flexible, try and get more of a synergistic core, and it's not working. What do you do at that point, right? Like, what's your mentality? And hopefully your mentality does stay strong, because Tyler Poke looked good in Game 1. It's possible. We know it now, right? We're not staring at a team where he's getting completely walled and doing nothing. We're not looking at Necrozma. We're looking at Roselia. We're looking at Nidoqueen. And we're looking at... That's it. Actually, that's his defensive. He went more offensive. So, in an offensive situation, Lunar Crescelius found the win. Manchester didn't need to be as bulky, but in the end, in Game 1, it looked okay in that case for Lunar Crescelius. So, what ends up happening now? What do we think is going to happen with this? Do we see a switch from Manchester Manetro to try and speed up the process? I don't think so. I think what he has right now is okay, and he has the 2-0 space to learn about what Little Crescelias might do to try and beat him, and then try and pivot from there. That's the nice thing about being up 2-0 is you don't have to adapt as much. You could stay it, you could lose a match, it doesn't matter, and then you could come back and try and find that third win in a bit. We have 25 seconds left on the coach's clocks once we get into the battle once again. Wait, what? Oh, hey, whoa. What's happening here? Yeah, what the... guys. Okay, they already started the match and didn't tell anybody. So, unless they... Did they post anything? No, they didn't post anything. Solid. Ugh. I got you guys. Hold on. Well, you can't reset, so... We'll just go back to the first turn. No, get back. Pause. Last turn. There we go. Either way, give me one moment here. We're going to get to game number 3. I mean, I don't blame them for being excited to get into the match. It just means we have to do a little bit of cleanup here. Alright, game number 3 between Manchester Benetric looking for the match win here. One more win and they're good to go. Lunar Crescelias bringing in the Spiritomb. Ooh, that's a much bulkier choice here from Lunar Crescelias. Kind of flipping the switch and saying, I could do what you did to me during the regular season and try and go ahead with that. Here we go. There's going to be a lot of quick plays here. So here we go. It's going to be the Incineroar up against the Galvantula lead. This should be a pretty good situation for Incineroar. We're going to see the Bug Buzz come out. Actually, Manchester, ooh, stays in, just gets the U-turn on him. As now the Manectric will make its way in. Makes the most sense. The Mega will happen as the Nidoqueen can come in and tank up all the hits, as it is taking damage like it has in Assault Vest. Flamethrower does nothing to Nidoqueen, and now he doesn't make the switch into the Seismitoad. Go for the Flamethrower. Doesn't get anything done to it either. So, pretty standard play here. Everything's just too tanky for stuff to happen here. Roselia will now make its way in as the Stealth Rock happens through. And it will be threatening it out as Jirachi will not be coming in. This is way too fast. Spikes happens, but Jirachi could go for the Wish. It could also just go for the U-turn and get stuff in safely against the 2 rocks. But it could also just go offensive against the Roselia because Roselia can't touch it much. There we go. Nonetheless, so now we have 2 layers of spikes up against Lunar Crescelias. We have a Wish that didn't get touched. But he can threaten on the physical side here with the Jirachi, try and flinch out the Roselia nonstop. And that's going to be good for him because Roselia was the one trying to set up the hazards. But again, Cryogonal is the spinner that levitates. It's kind of unique in that sense. Iron Head comes through. My God! That damage is ridiculous. Is that how much it takes from that? That's ludicrous. That's a ton of damage Zygarde has to take. The Protect even comes through to show that it has his last move. That's his full moveset with U-turn there. But Zygarde trying to look for value, and even then, it's going to have to drop itself if it does that. Seismitoad's going to make its way in instead. I think that's pretty good value here, just getting a decent amount of damage up on the Seismitoad, getting out before anything goes too awry. Yeah, what do we look at here? The Roselia's going to have to come back in, threaten with the Giga Drain, might just get a 3rd layer of spikes. Now, the problem is, he's so low, Seismitoad says, yeah, go for it. I'm going to get back out of here, but you are not leaving unless you want to die to the rocks with one more switch in. Ooh. Oh, hiccups and a sore throat. Great. Ouch. Spin comes out. Sludge Bomb happens. Even if you were to poison, recover is most likely on this Cryogonal. The Roselia is down, and this is the position Lunar Crescelias wants to be in to start coming back because Cryogonal getting a lot more value than we thought we would when we lost his other spinner, so good call by Lunar Crescelias, recognizing that this is going to be a great Pokemon to come out on the day to get him into the semifinals in his first season. First playoffs appearance as well. Mega Man will come in, try and give the attack drop. Now, he does have double Intimidate, which would be nice. Knockoff will do that same amount of damage. He's okay because Mega Man will outspeed, and you don't want to take the damage on the Absol. So most likely we're going to see the Galvantula come in, or an Nidoqueen comes in as a Seismitoad is the predicted switch. That's a good switch for Lunar Crescelias. The quick double switch has to happen, and Galvantula is going to have to be the sacrificial bug. Pure and Black, the Pokemon of choice. Incineroar says, hey, I'm intimidating too. And the ICMZ should be tanked up quite well. Look at the damage. Does that anyone remind you of what happens when a resisted thing happens? Oh, yeah, we remember those damage calcs from last time. His Drain Punch is going to come through, heal him up quite well. Enough to take even another non-crit Earth Power, and now I jinxed it. It's going to crit right now. Fusion Bolt comes through, and it's not doing enough. You're intimidated, my friend. And this is Lunar Cresselia saying, timeout? What timeout? I'm feeling confident, not even losing time. Do you guys even have the timer on? Jesus. You think after 10 weeks. Either way. There you go. Look at that. 1,000 Arrows comes out. Incineroar's taken down. Sizedoke comes in. Knows he can take the hit. Threatened with the kill. Not too shabby so far for Lunar Cresselia. A 5-3 Pokemon lead. Not drop it out of the series yet. He can bring it to game 4 with more good play. The Absol is weakened. Everything is pretty much softened up to an extent. Not ridiculously, but with the Zygarde 10% down, it's down to a Nidoqueen and an Absol. And guess what? All you've lost is your Incineroar. Yes, you want the Intimidate, but you've got the Mega Man that can switch in. The question is, though, do we see a switch up of moves? I think Knockoff still does the most damage from the Absol. So getting more damage down feels okay to me. But I don't think Man can pull it back for this particular situation. He might be losing to his own team mascot. Keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. That's a lot of damage. Mega Man Nextric outspeeds. He can even go for the Flamethrower here just to basically get damage down. He does get the Volt Switch Predict, though, as Nidoqueen doesn't make its way in. And that's all but done for Manchester Manectric. Not enough to come. He's actually going to show the Spiritomb and what it would do, which is an interesting choice because hiding your information is important for these series, especially with Manchester Manectric, which is very good at adapting to things happening. But I think, ladies and gentlemen, we have a series on our hands because Lunar Cresselia is not rolling over, as we may just see Game 3 go in his favor. It is nighttime. The moon is out. That is a buff, as we will see Manchester Manectric disconnect. Don't worry about it. We've seen this before. We just wait for him to come back. If he had forfeited, we would have seen a forfeit. Otherwise, we'll just give him time to reconnect. He does join. There you go. Nidoqueen comes in. Now this is a good opportunity for Manchester Manectric to test damage calcs. But, Sludge Wave comes in, does nothing. Doesn't even want to check it. The Z move is revealed. Z Memento for the BM. Get the -2 drop. Right? Wait, what is Z Memento? Oh, it fully heals. Oh, my dear Lord. Now, I actually incredibly disagree with that play. I 150% disagree with that play. That is a strategy now revealed that didn't need to be revealed. He could have saved that to catch Ivan off guard, and Ivan would not have expected that. Nobody would have expected that. But nonetheless, maybe just trying to get into Ivan's mind, as he will, as Lunar Cresselia will take game number 3. I'm doing everything out of our click the music quickly. Boom. But that is an enormous reveal, and potentially something that, you know, for someone in the Pro Pokeball not used to best of 5 battles, might not be recognizing. But well played by Lunar Cresselia, as having the advantage. That was good pushing of advantage. We saw the crowd will get a lot more value. The damage coming down. Making excellent switches. It's kind of interesting because, oddly enough, it kind of looked like Ivan moving away from this style of play and moving into this kind of like trying to go offensive and beat Lunar Cresselia. They are suddenly looking better. Which is kind of strange to me. Because here you're sitting. In a position where you're playing off from what you weren't doing normally. But now Lunar Cresselia are beating you at your own game. So why not go back to... Can he go back and be that bulky player that he was before, right? We see, again, no triple defensive core. Ivan not looking phenomenal. Are we going to see 2 reverse sweeps tonight? Are we going to see it? It's possible. I think Lunar Cresselia have found the good combination. Now, of course, even though you're down 1-2, it's not the same situation as Sweet D where it was getting better and better. And having said that, because there were misplays coming out from Golden State Greninjas that kind of gave I Am Groot more space to think about how to fully flesh out their whole team. We didn't see any switches from Gold Sacred until Game 5. Will we see Manchester United make that change? Will they try and stop it right now and get the 3-1? I said 3-1 probably as far as this thing would go. I did predict a 3-0 for Manchester United. A 3-1 would also make sense, considering that Ivan, once again, the adapter, right? Sees it, calls a shot, goes from there. But this is interesting because he is... because he is, what's it called? Like, he's good at playing out... Manchester United's good at playing out their team, but... like, Ivan has never been down. He's either only super won or super lost. So I don't know what he would look like in this series all of a sudden, right? This is the first time he'll have a non-fully fleshed out situation. So there's no clear answer. There's no clear not answer. So now what happens? Does he fall over and not be able to predict and figure it out? Does he pull back and try and make these things work? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. But Ivan is an experienced player. Tyler Poke is also an experienced player. Robin, I've hosted a tournament since 2015. We've hosted the ProPokeBowl since 2015. This is the 5th season. Nonetheless. I don't know. This is going to be very interesting. I'm really excited to see how this is going to play out, because this will be, if Manchester United, because here's the thing, right? Manchester United, if they move on, both these coaches will be going on to face Traverse City Thunderous. You're not expecting a 3-0 for Manchester Man or for Lunar Crescelius, right? On their terms. You're going to expect a game or two to be dropped to Sharkin, considering that he is the tournament favorite at the moment. So how much time does it need for an adaptation to happen? And when do we see switches? When do we see, maybe not stubbornness, when do we see kind of a revelation? Or does this just prove to us that maybe the construction could be something that Sharkin can pick upon, seeing that, well, if he's not going to switch, I now know that if I build good enough on the day, or well enough, if I build in general well enough, Ivan's not going to have, or Tyler Poke's not going to have the movesets to beat me, let alone go to the finals and beat the finalists. So this is where all the semifinalists are kind of watching this match and going, regardless if they assume that Sharking is going to make it through, how standard do you have to build? How standard can you build to make it effective against all of your opponents? All the different possibilities. There's only 3 possibilities. Or technically 2 possibilities plus your semifinal opponents, so... I know from the preseason, Tyler Poke. I can just assume, too. Anyways. 30 seconds left. It looks like Ivan is disconnected. When he gets back in, hopefully he will be getting the match up. Here we go. Game number 4 upon us, ladies and gentlemen. Ivan's still looking to finish it off. Put the nail in the coffin. But if Lunar Crescelius have anything to say about it, it's not going to happen. We're going to get another Game 5 situation. Here we go. Do we have changes on team? The Stack Attacka. That's what we said. Going back to comfort. Bring a Pokemon in that'll tank things up. Put a lot of pressure back. That's your Cryogonal Crusher. And the Tyrantrum coming in, though. Big deal. If that thing's carrying Earthquake, that's going to handle the Stack Attacka quite well. So, not bad switches here for both of them. Spiritomb will remain on the team. This is it. Can Manchester use the switch to take the 3-1, or will Lunar Crescelius bringing us to the Nail-Biter? Galvantula lead once again versus the Seismitoad. Feels the most comfortable for him. We know that the Seismitoad can tank it up, put a bunch of damage down to Galvantula. I don't expect Galvantula to actually stay in here. Because here's the thing, no matter how much you try and damage trade with Lunar Crescelius, he's got Wish Jirachi. It's not working for him. Like, no matter what, it's just not working. So, how is this going to play out? We are going to see the switch into Jirachi instead to take the... Oh, I forgot Energy Ball exists. Haha, good call by Lunar Crescelius. They don't listen to me. This is why they're in the playoffs. So, nonetheless, Jirachi, we know, can tank this up really well. Go for the Wish. Actually, opts to just go for the U-turn to break the sub on this, so... Or not sub, the Focus Sash. My throat's dying. Can you hear it? Cineroar comes in. We do see the disconnect from Manchester Manectric. We will give him the time to reconnect. No big deal. Internet problems, as you could tell. Always terrible. That's the way it happens on an online tournament. Person back in Season 1 or 2 asked me, how can you run a tournament online and rely on your viewers to run it with you? Not to run it, but to play in it. And I tell that person, 5 seasons later, you can march right out of my chat. Loser! Anyways. I do take pride in that. Running a tournament, because this tournament is fueled by the community, is powered by the fans, and is run by myself and the coaches. Yes, I do the administrative work, but this would not exist without all of the lovely people that come out to make this phenomenal. Graphics by Xeno, audio by Gamma, advertisements by everybody. Thank you very much for making this. As we see the tick flicked off the wall, that's a good 6-5 start here for the Lunar Cresselias. Now, here's the thing. Again, Cryogonal does not care about these hazards. The one funny thing is, I think I know why Stack Attack is in, not just for Cryogonal, but to also get rocks up. So he's got, because he gets rid of his Roselia, noticing that the spikes aren't doing anything, when unchecked, rocks will do more to Lunar Cresselias. So this is an interesting choice, plus it will handle a couple of Pokemon, but with that Tyrantrum, it does become a bit scary. We also actually see, I just noticed, Tyrantrum came in over Mega Manectric, even though they're both weak to ground. Fascinating. I guess it's another physical Pokemon to handle Nidoqueen, which makes a lot of sense. Sizotoad will come in. We saw it take 83% from the Sub-Zero Slammer when it was brought down to that point. Can it take it from 100 is the question. Funnily enough, playing the Necrozma theme, the Necrozma being the Pokemon that Manchester Manectric destroyed Lunar Cresselias and outwalled him to death during the regular season. But not today. He's called on a different set of individuals to carry his team to the semifinals for I think the 3rd or 4th time in a row. I can't quite recall. Cineroar's going to come in and get the Intimidate drop as the Earth Power is used. Well played by Manchester Manectric, not wasting the Icium Z just to check to see what he's going to get damage down. Now, he's seen how much this thing takes from Drain Punch as well as Knockoff. Knockoff's going to do anything, but Drain Punch is going to do too much. I think he's going to preserve it this time and go maybe into Nidoqueen, despite the fact still stack on the special side. This Pokemon is working so well for Lunar Cresselias. It's astounding. Because, like, it's on the special side, and because Absol can't really do anything outside of, like, Play Rough or Superpower, if it gets Intimidate dropped, it's not going to stay in because he's got all the, like, Lunar Cresselias has the Jirachi, has a healthy Seismitoad, and now has a Spiritomb. So things are getting tougher and tougher, especially as that Spiritomb has Z Memento. So if it has Darkium Z, it can try and go for damage with, what's it called? No, not Everlasting Nightmare. It is Black Hole Eclipse, or it can just go for Z Memento, which you actually can't use because I think it'll get reflected. Does that go through Magic Bounce? Can someone confirm that for me? Does Z Memento go through Magic Bounce? I don't know if it would. Nonetheless, while we're having that looked up, Sizestoad will come in on the Zygarde 10%. This Pokemon not getting the absolute most value yet. It did a bit in Game 1, but we haven't actually seen Zygarde 10 take over as much as we have in other series. As we wait for Manchester Manectric to reconnect. There he is. Lunar Cresselias is playing out his defensive core phenomenally, having good Pokemon here and having good answers. And again, Manchester don't budge very much, it seems. He did bring one adjustment here in game number 4. Doesn't want to see it go to 5. But if it does go to 5, we will have to begin to question, is it the play or is it the team? Because at this point, it's looking like the team is not managing Lunar Cresselias' composition very well right now. Will be the double switch back into Zygarde 10 as we do see the fear. The Incineroar does come out. Good play by Manchester to force this thing out. Despite the fact it gets Intimidate dropped, we could just see a double back into the Seismitoad. Just keep the damage down because he knows he can keep switching it like this, baiting it through. 1,000 arrows will do a lot to anything that's going to be coming out. Even Spiritomb's not going to want to tank too much damage, especially since it doesn't have the leftovers or the Chesto Berry to support itself. Yep, we're going to see the Sizestoad come back. It makes the most sense. Doesn't even care about the speed drop. 1,000 arrows comes through, and this is how you start winning as Manchester Manectric. Get little bits of damage here and there. Q and Black comes in. Eventually, this is going to be predicted as the Toxic drops, and now he says if you're going to keep doing that, every time you do it, you're going to feel a little mosquito biting your ear. And by the way, that mosquito is cyanide. Will kill your giant legendary. Anyways. But this is good. This is now starting to say if you're going to keep Kieran Black in, it's going to be taking damage. We know it doesn't have recovery because it's ICMZ. Has it expended Sub-Zero Slammer? It has not yet. But we are in that range. There's a little bit of damage there. Sub-Zero could do it. As Earth Power is going to happen, predicts the switch. Doesn't happen. Well played by Lunar Cresselis. He is in control right now. However, I think this is the time you Sub-Zero. Kieran Black is basically doomed. That means the Incineroar most likely coming in to tank it up. It just makes the absolute most sense. Ivan has to go for it. If he saves this, he can save it, but I don't think he's going to. And indeed, he does not. Sub-Zero Slammer gets tanked up, no problem, because even if he went for Earth Power, it's still soaked up under 30%. So Ivan's just going to go for the reckless play, or not reckless, but just trying to get as much damage down as he can. Again, he could have made the switch, but he knows it's just going to be inevitable that he's going to keep getting outplayed by the mind games. Lunar Cresselia is in control in game number 4, looking to make it number 5. The Earth Power barely misses the kill, and the U-turn will actually give Manchester Manectric switch initiative, but that does mean he can't be just murdered here with Incineroar out. Because that also means that if Incineroar stayed alive, Stack Attacker could technically come in, set up rocks, and then wait for Incineroar to try and do damage. Yeah, I could Drain Punch, but this thing's got a lot of defense. I don't think it would happen per se, but at the same time, maybe it'd still be Vantage. Either way, whatever way it was going to go, Incineroar was probably dead to Zygarde 10 regardless. So going for the U-turn there means that now you're facing down Spiritomb. You want to be worried because you can use the Memento to get a free switch and a free heal on anybody, which honestly might just be instantly used to heal the Incineroar considering how well it's doing and the fact it does handle the Stack Attacker. And also handles Absol. So this is a big deal, man. Yes, Manchester Manectric is trying to reconnect at the moment, but with this switch, here we go. Now, of course, when you disconnect multiple times in a battle, your timer pool does go down more and more each time. So he will have to live with the 175-second cap he has at the moment. Not the biggest deal. We have seen one timeout in this exact series so far. Hopefully not another one. Manchester needs to make the play against this Spiritomb. Smashing expectations Lunar Cresselia would be doing. Another disconnect here. Don't worry. We're getting there. Of course, if he does end up reconnecting and losing time, he will have to forfeit Game 4. Maybe give him a little bit of time to reset his internet. Because you don't want to see Game 5. You don't want to see a disconnect of all things to end off this series. Zygarde 10% in. Seismitoad says hi once again. Not as much HP, and that's a lot of freaking damage he has to take on this Choice Band Zygarde. Seismitoad will finally fall after getting all of that work done with all the switching and with all of the tanking and all the dealing of the damages. And now something else has to come in. Cryogonal will be the answer. He says, punch me, I know I can kill you back, and it'll be worth. I actually don't know. How much does this do? Zygarde does to Cryogonal quite a bit. It's 76 to 90%, so he can tank it. He can indeed tank it. Not comfortably. If it's a crit, it's a big deal. Here he is. He's got his timer still. He's still good for time. 2.5 minutes in the pool. That's more than enough to play at a Pokemon game. But yeah, he has to switch. You don't want to risk not killing this Cryogonal. Into what? Probably Stack Attack at this point. Now, having said that, he can also tank it up with the Assault Vest Nidoqueen, which hasn't seen the light of day yet. So, not the worst idea, but it's getting tighter here. He's going to go for it. He's just going to get as much damage as he can possible. Knockoff instead, though, not the kill for Lunar. Expected the switch. Manchester getting the better of the Snowflake this time. Not too shabby, but now Spiritomb says hello. Might try and tank just to go for Z-Memento to hand to heal up the Incineroar. Not too sure yet. It could, considering it has Intimidate. But I don't think he wants to take 1,000 arrows on this anyways. However, we did see the Choice Band drop. So with the Choice Band dropping, that's a lot less damage. In fact, 50% less damage he has to worry about boosted. How much would it actually do to this Incineroar? It wasn't on the original list, so I can't check. Thousand Arrows comes through. That's without band. It is going to be the Z Memento. And this will also give it a -2, so he gets a pretty free switch in here. And it is just probably going to be the Incineroar healing up. Does get it done. Yes, the speed's down, but that's a -3 attack on the Zygarde 10. You might just go for the knockoff here, knowing something else has to switch. But even then, maybe just Drain Punch. Drain Punch hits everything minus that Nidoqueen. If he gets the knockoff on Nidoqueen, it doesn't actually matter much because he doesn't have any special attackers anymore. Would have mattered more if he was going up against the likes of a Mega Manectric or the Cryogonal, which could have been alive, but rather gets outplayed there. And Ivan holding it here. He's looking for Game 4. If he can keep his internet in order, which unfortunately, I mean, he probably doesn't control. He still has time, but this could be Ivan's Game 4 win. Looking okay. It's 4-3. 3 healthy versus 4 kind of hurt. Drain Punch does come in, makes the most sense, gets the most value out of everything minus this. If you predicted it a queen, you're a god. But if not, Earth Power comes in. Knockoff happens. Good crit to speed up the process. That's really neat because now, you know, knockoff happens once again, but that crit hurts a smidge. As he's going to look for his own crit, does not score it. Flare Blitz actually to give himself more recoil. Kind of strange. Could have gone for knockoff. Still would have killed nonetheless. Zygarde 10 will say hello. Will kill off Incineroar. He is 2 Pokemon away, ladies and gentlemen, from winning the dogfight and going on to the semifinals to face Traverse City Thundurus. But the Jirachi is really low. The Thousand Arrows would kill from here. And it's up to Tyrantrum versus 3 on the Sticky Web. Never got the spin, by the way. By going for knockoff, actually, you know what? By going for knockoff instead of rapid spin could mean the difference in this win here. Because if he can tank, I don't know if he can tank a single hit from Thousand Arrows, because Tyrantrum is not in the original 6. But if he could tank a single hit and go for DD and win, that will be disastrous for Ludicrous, knowing that all he had to do was, rather than favoring getting rid of the choice band, is to just get the speed down. Now, having said that, if he went for the spin, he would still have to deal with the choice band. So that might bring it down. But Ivan is looking to take the semifinals. An early sack on the Spiritomb, trying to keep the value here, but it didn't gain him enough. As Tyrantrum versus the world, minus speed, a Play Rough, a superpower, 1,000 arrows, hell, an earthquake. Anything, a gyro ball, anything can fly out of Manchester Manectric to finish this off and bring the semis into him. All it takes is for Manchester to push the button. If he doesn't push the button, this goes to it. And there it is. The outrage, there's no choice band, it is flexible, and it is over. Manchester Manectric completes the 3 games, and will be facing Traverse City Thundurus in the semifinals. And what a match from both players. It looked close. I think in the end you do start to see a bit of both of them trying to play into their own minds. But at the end of the day, Manchester Manectric will have his chance at going for a 2nd-time champion. We have 3 coaches looking for the 2-time. 1 coach, first season, first championship. Wants to go straight through and also ending up in first seed. GG to Ludicrous and Manchester Manectric on the night. Let me get the update for you all here, and we'll take a look at how this night turned out. Oh, that's kind of cool. 1, 1. Oh, I could put the order in which they won? Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. All right, give me 1 second here. So Golden State. Oh, neat. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Huh. Before you please check the following submits. The winner does not match the results of the winner. Oh, shoot. Wait, what? Yeah, it does. I am Groot's the winner. What are you talking about? Huh? Challenge is trying to tell me Diego didn't win despite the fact I put 3-2 in. Okay. Sure, whatever, Challenge. You're drunk, man. That's... Capuchin's working! Why is it working all of a sudden? Spam, quick. Just get the faces everywhere. There we go. Yay! I don't know why it's randomly working all of a sudden. Either way, we take those. Speaking of which, let's take a look at the challenge and what we're going to be looking at for the semifinals next Wednesday, October 23rd, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. There you go. Traverse City Thunderous versus Manchester Manectric will be the first match of the night. I will make that clear for you guys in the thing. In the Fortnite Ninjas versus I Am Group Battle of the Wonder Twins. It's like a Lord of the Rings series where the I guess the brothers turn against each other. I don't know. Either way, this should be a very, very interesting series. Big surprises coming out from Golden State Greninjas. Congratulations to Golden State Greninjas bringing us to an exciting 5 games tonight. Congratulations to Ludwig Crescelius for making it to the playoffs, despite the fact that the beginning of the season did not look at what we expected, but I think we got the results that we were looking for. And like I said, October 23rd, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll be going from there. But we're not done tonight. Give me about 5 minutes here, chat. I'm going to take another quick break. When we come back, Amma Gamma for Extra Life 2019 will be shaving his beard, and we'll talk a little bit before the Pro Poke podcast as well. Why am I paying you? Oh, yes, that's right. Thank you. Thank you. I'm not used to having multiple series with that. Big winner. Boop.